Welcome to Good for Bitcoin, a weekly show recorded live every Friday, where we recap the top events of the week and talk about everything that is good for Bitcoin. If it's built on Bitcoin, then it's good for Bitcoin. Let's get started.
Content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, or company. We encourage you to conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.
All right, welcome to the show. We have a very special Good for Bitcoin today. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on a very historic day of the Bitcoin halving. And we thought it might happen tomorrow, but looks like it's happening today. Very exciting. Unfortunately for the memes, it's not happening on 420, but that's okay. It's happening today. And we're here to celebrate and here to celebrate Nakamoto. This has been a release that has been in the works for a very long time. We wanted to do a special episode of Good for Bitcoin. This is normally a show that happens every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, but we wanted to do a special, longer sort of Naka-MARATHON space to celebrate all the builders and everybody that has been contributing to Nakamoto, and we want to hear from you as well. So we've already brought on some speakers that have requested, but if you are building something that has to do with Nakamoto, we want to hear from you. We want to celebrate all of everything that you have built. So please feel free to request up. Today I'm joined by Longstreet.btc, and if you did not see earlier today, we announced Longstreet as Leather's new community advocate. So we're very excited to have him joining us and advocating for this amazing community. Shout out to some of the music that you were just hearing prior to the start of the show. Shout out to Jim.btc, Mellophonic, that was entertainment. Prior to that, you heard the World Class Hooligans. Great couple songs to start off the show there. Sean, how you doing?
Oh man, I couldn't be more excited. What a special spaces and a special day to be joining you all on these like two big events. You know, the halving is huge, but also just to be joining, you know, with Hero, formerly Hero, now Leather Wallet, and supporting you all at Trust Machines. And Leather is like, it's a huge goal. So I know I see a lot of OGs, a lot of friendly faces in the community. And so it's a real good time to be here in the space.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, and we have, let's see, I'm hearing a little echo on my end. I hope it's okay for you guys. Okay, cool. Let's go in order. Zero, I think you joined us first. How's it going, Zero?
Hey. What's up? Bitcoin halving. Dude, I am so pumped. It is a bright, sunny day over here. It's been kind of cloudy the last couple of days, and the sun just opened up. God shined his rays down. He said, Zephyrin, I want you, sorry, that's my real ID. Zero, I want you to experience all its glory of the Bitcoin halving on this day. And I got to give a huge shout out to my right hand, Hodl Stacks. He started putting these threads together. He was like, dude, let's have a mega thread. And I was like, I honestly don't know. I bet everyone is going to just be in their bunkers with their adult diapers on, with their snacks, with their flavored waters and adult beverages, and they're just going to be hunkered down waiting for runes. And he was like, dude, let's do it, and we're going to invite everyone. We're going to get Hero, we're going to get Longstreet, we're going to get Jack, we're going to get Mr. Wagme, we're going to start inviting Brad, we're going to tell Dan to shut down. No, don't do any Purple Pill Friday today. We're all going to get together, invite Leather, Trust Machines, and dude, we're just going to have a fucking party. And I was like, dude, let's do this. And then when you joined and said, we're making this happen, I was like, okay, this is happening. This is awesome. I feel the energy. It's electric, and I'm just so glad to be here for the marathon today. What a cool special day, especially just for all of us to come together. Man, I'm just so glad to be a part of this community, feel the energy, and I'm just so thankful for that. Thanks, Brandon.
Man, I feel the energy too. That's awesome, man. Huddle Stacks, Zero already mentioned you, but yeah, if you want to come up and say a few words. And in the meantime, I'm having some audio issues on my end, so I'm going to try to work those out. But Sean, if you want to just make sure that the show continues just for a minute or two while I figure this out. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, Huddle Stacks, take it from here, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, happy having. Yeah, great to be up here. First thing I want to do is, just give a shout out to you, Longstreet, man. You've been around for so long, and super happy to see you get all your success. Like I say, Leather, you just gained a great one. So really happy for you guys working with one another, and excited for all that you're gonna do. But yeah, man, super stoked. Want to talk about all things stacks. I mean, the halving, of course, where everyone's focused on Bitcoin and runes, but I think we should celebrate as well all of the progress that we've made in stacks. Let's think back to all those times where small things would happen, and we would have congestion and everything, and we're going to have all that alleviated, and just everything that people are building. We have so many robust DeFi applications now, and how we have so many tools too. We have Stacks tools and Sat Screener and those folks, and shout out to all of them. Just really excited for what's to come, and really want to give props to everybody that's been building. You guys have created this wonderful community, and it's just so well functioning, and everybody depends. Even with runes coming up, everybody depends on your guys' wallet. I was reading threads on how to get started with runes, and here's Leather and X first right in the middle of all of it. Everybody says download Leather, download X first. So it's just really awesome to see Bitcoiners and people coming into Bitcoin get introduced to you guys. You guys are just great stewards. So super excited.
That's awesome, man. I am so excited for like so many changes, as we all are. And a lot of us have been around the community for at least 2, almost 3 years, and I think we all like thumbs up if you have some memory of you know just waiting for that transaction to clear, and like something getting clogged up, with the network, and just like waiting and wondering like what's happening. So I think those are going to be distant memories, because Nakamoto is bringing the next era of stacks. And so yeah, good shout out to all the people building amazing things, and I think we're going to have a lot of really good memories to think back on. I know I released like one of my early releases. It was my first release. It was my Venice Visuals photography collection, and this was back in the day when there was only one marketplace, Art on Stacks, and I released in the same week that like the market started turning down hardcore and Alex launched, and then they just like the network was messed up for like a week, I think. And I thought like, oh, okay, this is really good timing. I'm glad I'm doing this right now. But yeah, we've been, I'm just looking out at all of these really familiar faces, these great people who have just kind of stuck through it, through the bear market and the bull market that's to come. I know we're going to be looking back at and recalling some good memories, and just say like with the battle scars, like we've learned a lot, we've stuck through it, we've made a lot of great connections, and we know that this space is just prime to be taking off, because with our conviction and long-term time preference, everything's going to work out.
Longstreet, I just want to first and foremost say congratulations. It's been an honor to see your growth, your trajectory within the community. Dude, you are a pillar of this community. And when I think back, because I was around in the Blockstack days, I remember me and Dan used to message each other because he was running a meetup out here in the Pacific Northwest, and this was Blockstack. And then this round after the whole ICO craze, and then the crypto winter, and everyone was just down. And people didn't see that this thing was going to turn around. And then we had the bull run in 2021, and the mainnet came online. And at the time when mainnet started, all you could do is stack your STX and earn Bitcoin, and that was like the number one thing that people did. Then you had those marketplaces come online, and you kind of had before Gamma was Gamma, they were STX art or something, or STX NFT, and then I remember seeing your art pop up, and I was like, man, this is awesome, and you stuck around through it all, and you never gave up, and you never quit, and now you're working with one of the best organizations in Stacks. And I mean, it's been crazy for me. I tell Huddle all the time. I'm like, man, do you see what's happening? Like Xverse and Leather, they are the go-to wallets for the Bitcoin economy. Like back in 2021, we had to deal with so much FUD, and yes, our network constantly got congested and almost. I think Megapont their mint when they did Steady Lads and then the first apes. I mean, it almost clogged up the network and broke the chain. But here we stand on Bitcoin halving with just this community of familiar faces. When I just look around, I'm just like scrolling down. I see phases of Satoshi here. That was one of the first NFT projects. I see Brad. I see Doc, Trippin' Monkey. I'm just scrolling down, and I see so many familiar faces, and it's just a testament to the belief of the Bitcoin ethos. I believe we all believe in decentralization. I believe we all believe in permissionless and trustless systems, and that's what brings us together. We know things we're going to take time to get built, and man, it's just been phenomenal just to be patient, to wait, and we knew our time was going to come. And to be quite frank too, we still have a lot of building to do. We still have a lot of people to get up to speed on what the Bitcoin L2s are, and how to use them, and how to onboard people, and how to do education. There's still a lot of that going on, but man, I feel bullish about where we are. And I frankly, I haven't heard any of that FUD like we used to get in 2021, and people talking about the Bitcoin L2s will never be a thing. Here we are, that it is a real thing, and not only are Bitcoin layer twos a real thing, but we in Stacks in the community, we also support other Bitcoin layer twos. We know we're not the only ones here building. So it's just been phenomenal when I just look around this room and just see just some familiar faces. I know a lot of you guys will get the chance to speak too, but Jack, I just been impressed with you, man. Just to see you come in early, not know anyone, and just start writing articles. And you said, I'm going to write an article for you to bring promotion to whatever you're building. Man, what a huge accomplishment to see you having your own communities now, and leading your own teams. And man, there's so many stories like that too. So I'm just so bullish today. I see Good Kitty down there. Good Kitty, and she just introduced me to her friend Grim with Hero Gamer, and we're making badges for D grants. Talk about D grants. It's becoming decentralized. A grants program fully decentralized, with stewards, with creators building. How many other how many other communities have given up on the concept of D grants just because it was too hard, and because we didn't want to dedicate resources to this? You know, all of these things are hard, but a lot of us we say forget about it. We know it's hard, but we're still going to try it either way, even though it's hard. Even when they tell us not to do it, we're still just going to keep going, and not listen to anything that they try to FUD us. So just again, Longstreet, congrats. I'm just so bullish on what you're doing with the team, and Leather and Xverse. Huge compliments to you guys. You guys are some of the pillars in this Bitcoin economy. So just hats off.
Dude, Zero, thank you, man. Thank you for double clicking on that long conviction and sticking it through. That's a really good little zoom in on what you just said. So thank you. Brandon, everything working well on the microphone now?
I hope so. It sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm not hearing an echo on my end anymore, so I think we're in a good spot. So thanks for holding it down.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see, Noodle. I know you requested to speak. I want to bring Hero Gamer up, who just came up, but Noodle wanted to give you opportunity first. Hey, Noodle, I don't think we can hear you, so I'm gonna we can have you come back. Hero Gamer, we can go to you first, and then Noodle, we can get back to you once we get your audio issues working. So yeah, thanks for joining though. We're happy to hear from you. Hero Gamer, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, great day today. Yeah, I'm looking at all the fundamentals. Like 2 years ago versus now, there's so much more been built, and I'm not looking at the price so much, and I'm just like thinking about how much more, even if the price is the same, but like how much more as a small little ecosystem we have moved on and accomplished. So yeah, kudos to all of you, and obviously my friend Longstreet, who I met in London as well. Super nice guy. So well deserved. Um, yeah, hope to collab with you in future on stuff. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, just super happy for you, man. Super happy.
Thank you so much, man. I just want to point out, I think everyone in this room knows who Hero Gamer is, but if anyone needs inspiration, an example of what contributing to a community looks like, it's like just take a page from Hero's book, because I don't even know how he manages to handle and have like his fingers in every community. He knows what's going on. He's always there supporting everyone in the DMs, in group chats. So, Hero, you really do make the space great, and it's been a real pleasure to just be here with you. But I definitely want to shout out, like everyone, take a page from Hero's book.
Yeah, it's actually thanks to Hero that we're doing this really big space today. I mean, we normally do this show every week, but Hero came to me wanting to do kind of a special space or organize a special space for Nakamoto, and I had the idea to just kind of roll it up into our Good for Bitcoin show here, and
It just didn't make sense. Like there's so much in real life events that Stacks Foundation organize, and they are amazing. Probably like 30 plus. But there isn't any like I'm thinking for the people who are not going to the event for whatever reason, family or myself, because I prefer to be anal. Actually, I went to one last night. Actually, for those who didn't know, I went. I will. I don't mind talking about it, but I went to the one in Cusco, so that's in Peru, and that's where the Machu Picchu is. It's like a super nice hike, and super nice view and historical like Inca kind of civilization thing. Anyways, I'm in the city just for the meetup, and I met great people. But yeah, it just like it was illogical. Like we didn't have a place for people online, so just wanted to do it. And then since I've been doing all the checking out everybody's schedules because I wanted to organize daily Twitter spaces for Stacks for the D grants purpose. So I kind of knew like 3 p.m. Friday is kind of the time for trust machines, and yeah, why not just combine everybody? Because otherwise, we're seeing so many like decentralized Twitter spaces now because we're so decentralized in the ecosystem. So why not combine some of the effort? Why distribute all the audience to different spaces and people having to choose? So when we can combine, when it makes sense, why not? So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Hero. And let's see, we're gonna bring Noodle back up and give it a second. Hey, Noodle. Okay, well, we'll keep trying. We're gonna bring him up eventually. Really, yeah, I know he's dedicated and wanting to come up and speak. Yeah, I mean,
Can I touch the zero touched on decentralized ground? And I really, I wish you were the marketing person because you put it really well. It's like probably the most decentralized ground out there. And I have checked out other grounds ecosystem and how they operate and stuff. We do have a very decentralized ground uh, program set up, and not only the program is sort of initially set up sort of by some of us, but now yesterday we had a fucking long Twitter Spaces talking about the governance of the the program and how they can you can now we have a dedicated governance Twitter Spaces now talking about how you can experiment with the program itself, because essentially it's just fun, and it's just a way we just need to find ways to distribute that, and then whoever care about your own sort of sub community, whether it's DeFi or governance DAOs tooling, whether it's builders tooling. So all this stuff, like within your own community, like come up with ideas of how to fairly distribute the fund, and just let people get creative. I think it just gives so much, I think it empowers people, and I think it's a good thing in our ecosystem when we, as an ecosystem, try to trend towards decentralization, and this aspect of funding also can follow suit as well. So I just think yeah, it's a good thing that we're trending towards per se.
Absolutely, Hero. Yeah, I bonus points every time. If anyone's counting along, how many times do we say decentralized in this space today? I know that's like a core tenet for a lot of people that are in this space. Hero, I wanted to ask you, because now we're heading into the second round of the D grants process. So since we have approximately 5 hours and 46 minutes left until the next 40 blocks to the halving, we may have enough time for you to talk a little bit about, the first round, what we learned, what projects are you really excited about. I know I'm really excited about what Good Kitty is doing, um, because I'll jump on that later. But yeah, let me hear from you about some of like your reflection on the first time that we went around and what you're excited about with this second time through the grants process.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Happy to chat if you want. But yeah, like first time, I think we learned. For me, one of the biggest learning was, I mean, I didn't even prepare to do Twitter Spaces. I thought, oh, just like a few is enough. But then when we started doing Twitter Spaces, I think the community really had a place to come together and talk about stuff. And then it's through talking about these kind of stuff, builder stuff or creative stuff, that really the ideas start to, we start to bounce idea off each other, and the ideas start to get refined and refined and become a really high quality idea. Because when we don't talk about it, when we just have a form and submit, nobody talk with each other. The educator who propose all the educational stuff just have it in their own way, in their own brain, how they think they can contribute. But when you put these educators together in the same room, something changes. So for me, what I learned was having public conversation, like the Ordinal show. I think I kind of aspire to them a little bit, because when they gather, they don't have funding, they don't have like a foundation, they don't have builders incentive to come and build because of a foundation, grant support. All they do is kind of host Twitter spaces, and then the builders started coming in and talk about stuff, and they started to discover what the gaps are, you know, and they start collaborating with each other, and they even answer basic question, what is ordinals, to normal audience. So it's really inviting and really a place to collaborate and foster innovation. So for me, I think the biggest learning was, let's get together in December whenever we can and actually talk about what the system needs, what the ecosystem is missing, and how we can address it. So I think it's really valuable, and not just for the sake of finding issues or the gaps within the ecosystem, but also just really foster good vibes. And when you have good vibes and good culture of collaborating with each other, I think these are sort of the invisible side effect of hosting a public Twitter Spaces and helping each other, and that really sort of lays a bed in the ecosystem of a good culture, in my opinion. So that's
Yeah.
what I learned. Yeah, some minor details about how we review the stuff. For example, we was purely open sort of application. Anybody can submit anything. But I think throughout time we figured out that actually maybe putting into some sort of framework or categorization maybe makes more sense. So we're gonna try and do that with still sort of other categories. So any blue sky idea can still come up, so that we don't lose any. We don't being not. It's not like, oh, just because you don't fit in these categories, so your ideas are not valuable. We want to hear all idea because something could be super cool. You never know. So yeah, that's the general framework that we were trending towards by public discourse.
Yeah. What I was really impressed by was seeing the evolution of a lot of these ideas and projects, because I know this happens for me personally. If I have an idea for a project or a product, someone would come in with an idea, and then they would get community feedback either in the spaces or in the written documentation. And and that needs to be acknowledged too, because people like Mark and the artist, and you, and really everyone who was involved, they donated so much of their time and mental energy to really giving a sincere look at every project, to really give honest feedback so that we could, as a group, really come to a consensus about like what's going to contribute to the group, what project has legs, what modifications are needed. So this process of watching these various ideas evolve, and to even see them evolve after the grants were like delegated, that's been it's been a very magical process. And I think that's, to some extent, I think that is something unique to this Stacks ecosystem, because we have attracted this group of people who are, you know, we have this common ground of, these common beliefs of decentralization and community. So seeing that evolutionary process of supporting each other and separating the wheat from the chaff, and really helping to support the best ideas to become even better, that was a beautiful process to witness.
I think one thing that I've really appreciated about just this Bitcoin space in general is how equitable it feels for anybody that wants to come in and create something and do something cool in the space. If you post about it, like people generally appreciate it and will share it. And it's just a very supportive ecosystem. And I really, really appreciate that. Coming from, like most of us, right? Because crypto hasn't been around forever. Like coming from like my Web 2 days of working in like Web 2 jobs, it was never like that. Like it was very, it all had to be like who and, just kind of more traditional. But it's not like that in Web 3 and in crypto and in Bitcoin. It's, yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Yeah, huge shout out to Hero, what he's doing with D grants and all the people that are involved. The grants program in general has been a huge success on Stacks. I know me and Zero, we got funding to get our initial idea off the ground, and we're very thankful for that. And I believe Arcadeco and some other projects that you guys probably use every day got funding. And would also like to, I know I think Trippin' Monkey, he was in the D grants round. I got a sneak peek at kind of what he's been building. Talk about things that are kind of next generation or kind of crazy. I really bullish on what he's about and what he's up to. So super stoked to see that come to life. Just a little alpha there, but yeah, really, it's awesome here in Stacks. It's all everybody is in a win and help win mentality, and I just love to see it. I don't really have any other examples of that elsewhere or see it on other chains, or maybe you have a little bit of it in niche communities, but there's so much of it here. It's just really awesome. um, like I know, even like just to give a shout out to Jack and what he's been building with Rue, and they had a recent experiment where they made a smart contract which you could play with and blacklist people, and I think that was probably the biggest usage of the sandbox and people actually calling contracts themselves. It was just kind of a fun game, and just to see people that take things that are kind of fun and lighthearted, and you look at the impact that they have, educating people. Runes is another good example. How many people are spinning up a node for the first time to try and figure all this stuff out? So it's really awesome to see, and it's really really beneficial. We haven't seen all the fruit that will bear with everybody. So
Yeah, and this is a great reminder too. If you're listening, I just want to remind everyone D Grant's cohort 2 is going to be kicking off, and I attached Hero Gamers one of his tweets. So it's going to be kicking off. If you're looking to build something, or you're already building something and you think a little grant money can make a difference and get me a little bit further, talk to Hero, talk to one of us, talk to someone in this community, talk to someone that you see listening today, because I bet we all know someone that can help you out and get you where you need to go. There's also the Bitcoin or the BTC Startup Lab, and Albert is running that, and they're always looking for people. So if you're looking to join and get some expertise and learn from other builders, uh, there are some programs. So D Grant is one, the Bitcoin Startup Lab, that's another with Albert, and then obviously there's the Bitcoin Frontier that has full investment. And if you feel like you're ready for that level, there's an option there. Trust Machines Leather, they can help you. Brandon Longstreet, they can help you get in touch with people. I attached another tweet here. I see Woe Buddies in the audience today. If you guys are interested in Bitcoin and I mean, there's going to be huge opportunities ahead of us here, especially with Nakamoto, and we're going to have faster blocks, and you're going to see a flood of people coming in, and they're going to start to want to use tools and solutions on Bitcoin layer twos. We're already seeing these people come in now, and I believe this Stacks ecosystem, Stacks communities, from what I've seen in other communities in crypto and Web3, this is probably one of the most inviting communities that you could be a part of. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you are. If you ask for help, I've seen Mark from Megapont jumping on calls to help people. I've seen Longstreet do that. I've seen Hero. I've seen Jack. I've seen Good Kitty do that. Mr. Wagme is constantly helping people. I know Woe Buddy is out there doing great work too. I see Doc and Atlas in the audience. I see Brad, John. I see Oyens. I just see so many familiar faces that are always helping people today. And so if you feel lost and if you feel like you don't know where to go, there are people here to help you. I believe in making this community open and accessible. That we didn't come here because we wanted to get locked into another central authority. We didn't come here because we want to accrue all of the power and be the gatekeepers. We came here because we believe in decentralization. We came here because we believe in the ethos, and that's what I always, regardless of who comes into this community, I want everyone to remember that this community existed to be open, transparent, trustless, permissionless. We exist to build systems that anyone can use around the globe. And so I really want people to remember that, especially new people coming in. We have a great way of being able to protect the ethos of this community. So when we see the assholes, when we see the ruggers, when we see the people who wish to do harm unto others, call them out. Let people know that that person isn't a good person, and that's what keeps the community ethos intact, and that's what keeps our mission intact, and that's why this is one of those communities that I can say, even when we do have scams, even when we do have futters, I feel like we can call them out and then we could move on. And then the people, I love how Longstreet said it. We separate the wheat from the chaff. I really feel like that. And we get to the people who are truly here out of the goodness of their heart.
Zero, whatever you had today, I'll take some of that, please. You're on fire today, man. um, I wanted to add on to what you said. So, as I look out in this space and the people who are listening, I am just thinking about all the different ways that people have found to contribute to this space. And I know for me, personally, I don't have like a coding or a technical background in that sense. My technique is that of a musician and an artist. And the way I found my way into the community was through the art. Okay, actually, technically, first it was through number go up technology. So I want to shout out Whoa Buddy because it was first Patrick Stanley's interview on the Pomp podcast where I heard about city coins, and it was in that phase where I was looking at like the next thing to be early on. So that's what got Stacks on my radar. And then I was jumping into the Discord, and WoBuddy was doing offering a lot of support on how to mine city coins. So that's how I got in. And then I realized that, you can do NFTs on Stacks. Maybe I should like start to get creative again. So my contributions were mainly that of like an artist, and I jumped around to a lot of the communities. It really started with, in addition to just like releasing my own like one-off pieces of music, it was with Project Indigo that I said, love your project, love the vibe, I would love to write some music for you. So that's how I found my own way of contributing to this space, and it really just kind of blossomed into so many great connections and collaborations. So one thing I really want to highlight is anyone who's in here has already found great ways of contributing in their own way. And that is a great model for just finding your own space in any community. Just contribute in whatever way speaks to you.
I think that's such a great point that you bring up. I we often, we call like people like Bitcoin builders in the space, and you don't need to be a Bitcoin developer to be a Bitcoin builder. There's so much opportunity, whether it's creating amazing art, whether it's just providing like a little bit of alpha, creating Twitter threads, just being part of the community. You are helping to build up this community and build up this ecosystem, whether you're an engineer or not. So there are absolutely are so many opportunities that are out there that that you can contribute to.
Yeah, and if I put that framework, sort of going off that sort of road about community builders, if you like, who are not technical, and linking back to your earlier question, Longstreet, what are the projects that sort of excites me about in D grants? And in my opinion, D grants has a spectrum of different type of project that will be funded. With the first round was just merely 25 grand. It actually funded Golan SDK. It was a builders project, and I think that will probably unlock some good stuff. But it also like funded a project like Good Kitties, like bringing Web 2 musician collaborating with Web 3 people, sort of trying to bridge that gap between Web 2 and Web 3. And that's something, this type of project and other ones that maybe like education, which unfortunately didn't get funded first time, but just almost. But anyway, I think these kind of idea that don't get the typical sort of grant funding, in my opinion, are more interesting, specifically for the D grant. Because if you look out to any space within Stacks or outside Stacks, most of the funding goes to the builders, and obviously we do need those buildings blocks, but at the same time, like sometimes these sort of unsung heroes don't get the sort of right amount of like funding, and so I think these like non-typical sort of builders funding for me are what sort of make me more excited about, because yeah, like now we have a place and a voice for the people, not just the sort of top down, the typical way of funding builders. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's great. Great hero. Noodle, I want to give you a moment to speak in a second, but I just want to quickly shout out to anybody that's in the audience. I know we've given shout outs to a few people in the audience a bunch of times already, like Good Kitty, Whoa Buddy, a bunch more. If you'd like to come up, talk about maybe something that you're building for Nakamoto, or really just to talk about your experience on Stacks and in the Bitcoin ecosystem. This is just a space to celebrate community today, and we'd love to hear from you. But Noodle, if you're there, are you there? We'd love to hear from you. Hey,
GM,
hey, there we go.
GM. Hello, D. Brandy,
Yes, thank
Brandon,
you.
Long Street, Trust Machine. I've been seeing Trust Machine's posts everywhere. Shout out to Hero, the D Grant governor, I think. Governor, yes. Shout out to you. Shout out, shout out. Zero, the hood stacks. That's then later. I don't actually use leather wallet because I use my phone, but I know that if I use my laptop, I'll definitely use leather. So shout out to everyone. So I just wanted to ask a question, ask Hero a question, and maybe talk about the projects a little bit. For the uh, for the D grants program, do you does tax support or supports you creating a coin? Do they fund coin making?
um I think I'll speak from two sides. It's meant to be a decentralized grants program. So whatever the community side, if the community really, really, really want this and really support your ideas, then maybe it can happen. But on the other side, you have to remember foundation is a foundation and it's still a legal entity. So to create a token through grants funding, we need to make sure, like, even if community really, really want this, is that going to have legal implication up on the Stacks Foundation itself? So that's what I would say. There's two elements that almost like criteria you need. Like you need to have community support, who actually believes like this is a good project, because like there are tens of people who would like to launch token, but I think, yeah, I don't see any reason why not, but the legal side is also something else. But I do believe that having seen so many tokens that was launched in stacks that didn't have any funding, it makes me think like it's probably pretty realistic to have token launch with minimum sort of lift. So I personally would consider, why do you need the funding for if so many token can launch pretty successfully without? So it probably has to have a good reason. If I were to look at any applications, for example.
So most of the websites you use to fund nowadays, I'm just asking because of me. I want to actually list a token called Reiki Coin on Stacks ecosystem. I've been working in Stacks for about 1 year. I've learned how the system works. I've learned everything. Not I can't learn everything, but I've learned a few things. Working with stacks, everything is just smooth. No I've not noticed any scam yet. Yes, Bitcoin is actually trying, Stacks is actually trying. Shout out to Leda, shout out to Xbox. So, um, yes, I would like to list my own token. The use case is for my King Graham Foundation. I have a foundation which supports the motherless baby home. I have NFTs too, but I want to bring up a project where people can actually buy the coin, then store it, then when it pumps, they'll actually get their gain and get it returned. Not like they buy an NFT and maybe they don't make sales, they don't get their cash back. But if it's a coin, you can actually get your cash back. So that was why I was asking for the funding, because I think I checked. I heard someone told me that to list on Alex Lab. I know Alex Lab is very smooth, and if I list on Alex Lab, everything will be good. But I heard it's over $1,000 or so.
Yeah, I think any sort of meme coin ideas or this coin, maybe it's not meme coins, utility coins, maybe fall pretty well on the DeFi sort of spaces. So I would encourage you to jump on the Tuesdays DeFi spaces. Dground's gonna have like some sort of DeFi spaces as well, and there's also Stacks DeFi spaces on Tuesday, 10 a.m. ET. So jump in there, talk with the people who already done it, talk to Alex Lab. They are there directly. So then, maybe you can see how, like you will get the feedback, the best feedback you can get, and then see how people can help you with launch if you need.
Okay, thank you. Then shout out to Gucci. I forgot to get down. Shout out to Pere, also in Nigeria like me. So nothing BTC, be right. I see all of you down there. So shout out to everyone. Happy having day.
If
The
I'm
having
correct,
is in few
you're pretty
hours.
young, right, Noodles?
What?
How old are you? I think if I remember correctly, you are 15 or something, right? Or 16?
13.
Huh?
13
You're
years.
13 years old.
13.
Oh my god. We need like a
I, I,
young
I
people's
think I'm the
apprentice kind of
youngest in the whole.
training camp.
I think I'm the youngest in the whole Stacks ecosystem.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, I mean, when I was 13, I don't think I was doing small contracts, so kudos to you.
Yeah, I love that, Noodle. Thank you for
Thanks.
coming up and sharing what you're building. And again, I mean, you heard it from Hero, right? There's so many opportunities out there for people to support each other and for you to get help with your project. So yeah, hopefully you follow up on that. And yeah, thanks again for coming up and speaking. We brought a few more people up that have been shouted out already. I'm misremembering the order of folks that came up, but Whoa Buddy, I think we can maybe go to you first, and then Mr. Wagme, and then Good Kitty after that.
Awesome, man. Thank you. And yeah, I'm sitting here watching the countdown. We're just tipping under 5 hours till the halving, and I'm super excited about that. But the main thing I wanted to come up here and talk about was actually the way you shared your story, Longstreet. It really, I'm so happy to hear like that was your experience and what led you to what you're doing now and everything else, because I had a similar experience coming in. When I found Stacks, then Blockstack, it was actually Dan was one of the main contacts that I had, him and Lewis both. And we meshed well together. The support was amazing. And I was like, wow, this is an ecosystem I want to be a part of. And I've been in ever since. So, it's really great to be able to give that back. And I think that culture that we have is really like the strongest thing here. So just had to come up and say those quick words. I don't need to plug anything. I think we'll let everyone have their time, but let's celebrate, man. 5 hours to go. I'm excited.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. Mr. Wagme, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. Thank you, Brandon. And gosh, up on a panel with some legends up here. Earlier, Zero, when he was getting into his intro, he was getting me all hyped. I was like one of those war movies when, they just got done with a battle and everybody's just cheering and got their swords in the air. I was just like, gosh, man, I guess I got to get on stage. You got so much hype going for me. Yeah, I started in the Stacks ecosystem probably about two years ago or so, and the thing that brought me in was the people. It was nothing about the price of anything. I think I saw something from Manib, and I just loved his approach to everything. And whenever I heard that, hey, Stacks proof of transfer, we secure back into Bitcoin blocks. It just, it was like whenever I first found out about Bitcoin in 2017 or so, and I had that same feeling whenever I like really got into the itty gritty details of Stacks. And so for anyone that's listening, if you haven't read the white paper or anything like that, you don't have to be super technical. I myself, I'm not a developer. I like to try to dive technical as much as I can. But that's where the secret sauce is at. And you're hearing from all these people that are building these applications, and they're building it upon a foundation like that with Stacks. So that was super powerful to me. And just a quick shout out to everybody with Zero, what they're building, 030 DAO. Got to check that out. Whoa, buddy, I've hopped into some of their AI discussions that they do as well. I think that's going to be a huge in the future. This convergence of AI and blockchain. So definitely some good stuff there. And yeah, on the side, sometimes I do little spaces as well. And whenever I tried to find my groove here, I was like, all right, well, I'm not a developer. What can I do? And in my day job, I do a lot of presentations and stuff, and I talk about software. So I connected with as many different people that are building apps or even just building art, and I was really fascinated about what brought them here. What are they building? Why are they building it? And I just started sharing that with people. So to kind of echo what Hero was saying, and also Longstreet, there's something that everybody can really find here. You just gotta what do you want to do? You follow your passion, you'll find that groove. That's one of the things I've learned in life. Don't worry about numbers and all the other stuff. Find your passion, align to it, and start connecting with people. And a lot of the people we've seen on this panel are some of the most helpful people I've come across. So yeah, thank you, Brandon, and looking forward to the halving coming up here. I'm curious what the what is it sats per VByte's going to be on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I'm watching that too.
And if I may just quickly share how I also got into stacks, actually, and actually Jason is up on the panel. He's like one of the first person I came across because I just jumped onto this public like governance call. I was like, what the hell is this? And anybody can join the call. I was like, oh, that's strange. That's not how it works normally in a company. But yeah, it's with when he and Haas and a few other Harold, when they held this weekly or bi-weekly governance Twitter space governance Zoom call. I hopped on and just like started listening, and like Jude was there sometimes. Different people was there, and it just like got me interested in governance. I was like, whoa, what's all this stuff? I never heard of this. Um, and that's how I sort of initially got in, and then that led to what I helped Foundation with the Stacks improvement proposal, like almost like the ecosystem governance, sort of setting standards and stuff like that. So I really appreciate Jason's help and his knowledge and the rest of the group in the early days of the governance process. So yeah, huge shout out to those guys.
Thanks, man. I remember you jumping on those calls early on, and it was really fun to run that whole deal publicly and to have people come in and out. And I think over the course of time that I've been in the ecosystem, I've just seen all of these great people that jump in and find their part, much to what was being said earlier. It's like there's so many different ways to contribute. And quite often we all think technical first. And it's like, no, there's so many other things to do. If you can find your lane, this is definitely a supportive group to be around.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, Mr. Wagme, I've told you a few times that I'm just really appreciative of, all the engagement that you give to Trust Machines and to Leather, and you're just a very, just a very overall like welcoming and helpful person in this ecosystem, and I definitely really appreciate you. And yeah, glad to hear from you, and happy that you're here. Good Kitty, love to throw it over to you, and then Grace, we'll go to you after.
Hey, hi everyone. So happy to be here with you guys. I was just sitting here listening to so many friends of mine who, well, you've become friends of mine over the last 3 years. Just sort of, and thinking to myself, I think Longstreet was talking about, memories of how it was in the past, and I was thinking about what it's going to be like in the future. And if somebody says to me, "Where were you on the 19th of April, 2024?" I'm going to be able to say that I was here with you guys in this room, and just think back on the times we're having now and what they're going to look like in the future. So, yeah, I just wanted to come and say hi, and also just share a little bit about how I found Stacks. I come from the music industry in real life, and I've worked in it for a long time. And for the last 10 years, I've spent my time trying to figure out how I can make it a better place. The music industry is um, in a terrible place at the moment, and it's been my mission for a long time to try and fix that. And a couple of years ago, an artist that I worked with had mentioned that he'd heard somebody was doing NFTs with music, and I started Googling it. And the first place I went to was Bitcoin, because it seemed to me the freest and most fairest of anything that I could find, really. And the idea that I could bring music to Bitcoin and free artists in a way, because I feel like they are shackled, and that's how I found Stacks. I was kind of trying to find a way at that time you couldn't do anything with Bitcoin, and I was Googling kind of, you know, if there was any possibilities, and I came across Boom Wallet, and that introduced me to Stacks. So, hey Dan, I can see you in the audience. You were the first person I spoke to on Stacks, and you were very welcoming, and I was fascinated with the idea of a boombox, and that you could invest in something or buy something like an NFT and earn rewards from it. It just made it so simple and easy to understand. So that kind of started my journey here, and it's just been wonderful to where I am now, where I'm able to finally, after probably over a decade of looking for a better place for musicians, to be able to hopefully bring something like that to Stacks. So thanks to Hero for bringing me in as a steward on the D Grants program. It was an incredibly, it was just a beautiful journey being on the cohort one, meeting all the people, the new faces in Stacks, and learning a lot myself, about myself and what I might be capable of. I was sort of pretty scared still when I started. I'd never had the courage to be able to come and speak to a room full of people. So thank you, Hero, for that. And also thank you to everybody who voted for my the grant and giving me this opportunity. So yeah, I look forward to sharing the music with you and bringing musicians home to Bitcoin.
Love that, Good Kitty.
And happy halving.
Yeah, happy halving to you. I love hearing everybody's stories on how they got into Stacks and got into Bitcoin. It's so awesome. It's funny too. I was talking, Longstreet and I were talking the other day, just about how well, obviously he comes from a musical background, and a few other members of our Trust Machines team also have a musical background, myself included. And it's just it's funny that there's so many people in this ecosystem that come from like a very creative background, and I think that just shows how creative this community is, right? It's a very creative ecosystem that really fosters creativity, for lack of a better word. Grace, shout out to Crash Punks. We'd love to hear from you what you've been working on, and yeah, happy having.
Happy having. It's so good to be here and so excited to celebrate with you all. Yeah, I mean, I remember the old days of just like stacks. And yeah, I was helping run the first Stacks Accelerator, just onboarding a lot of startups into Bitcoin and building up the team for what's now a Bitcoin Frontier Fund. And then I wanted to launch this NFT collection, Crash Punks. I think it was probably, it was like one of the first large NFT collections with Megapont, and there were um, uh, some badgers, beavers. I mean, there was just the stack plants and popsicles, and it was just like such. It's been such a journey, but it's so good to be here, and I'm super excited for what's next. I've been doing a lot of stuff at the intersection of AI, Web3, and music and metaverse, and it's a lot to juggle. But right now, yeah, I think if you stay tuned to what we're doing with Crash Points and all the new projects that we have, it's a lot of just combining. I mean, I think it just like makes sense to me that AI and Web3 or Bitcoin is going to be combining, and yeah, so I'm super excited to learn more about what the AI and Bitcoin community is doing. Um, yeah, and then I'm a music artist, and I actually would love to catch up with Good Kitty about this. I actually have my songs inscribed on Bitcoin, and I'm building. I'm building the platform that I'm building is for music artists and artists to be able to create more. So I think for me personally, I found that we are still lacking a lot of the tools and systems as artists to be able to create what we need. And so now I'm building that. And yeah, I'm super excited to I think there's just still so many learning curves that it's like super hard to um, just like grasp everything. But I'm super excited for what's next.
Hey, Grace, I don't get to talk to you fairly often, and it's probably been years now since there was conversations, back and forth messages. I wanted to just let people know about Grace. She is a Stacks OG, and she's been at the forefront. I just I pinned one of her tweets recently. She was one of the, and Grace, I never got to tell you this, but I was always impressed with what you did with Crash Punks. You were one of the first people, even like in Web3, to take this concept of, I'm going to have these digital collectibles through the Crash Punks and then give you some other experiences that are valuable to your life. And I remember when you brought Neil Stevenson, and I was like, holy moly, that is awesome that you did that for all of us who are Crash Punks holders. And then you went off and then started creating this whole VR environment too, and playing around with like the animations, and just to watch how you came into Stacks and created this collection, and then you did other things with it and gave real experiences and real value. I thought like that was one of the best examples of what NFT art should be, and how could it be relevant and also valuable for collectors and holders. And thank you for just creating those really memorable experiences.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's what it's about. I'm hoping to create more of those. When I first launched Crash Punks, I really wanted to create the metaverse on Bitcoin, and it wasn't technologically possible at the time. But I think right now, with recursive ordinals and all the technology innovations that we have, I'm super excited to be able to like continue doing that. And yeah, I see a lot of Crash Punks here, so thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, I dropped this alpha in the Discord, but I guess I can share a bit here. But like, if you enjoy the Stevenson experience, I actually have, like This is like alpha, but basically, yeah, more interactive storytelling experiences. I brought on someone who has been like super best friends with Neil Stevenson. He's a sci-fi writer. We're gonna be doing some cool interactive storytelling experiences with the metaverse. Yeah, and with Crash Punks and with music too, because yeah, I really want to explore how to just like build better platforms and models for artists and music artists to be able to succeed.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting! Thank you for sharing the alpha. This is great. Super excited to learn more about that. And yeah, to see how we can support you there for at Trust Machines and Leather. So really cool. Um, Mr. Decentralized.btc came up. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce myself and my experience that has been with Stacks. I have been in blockchain space since Bitcoin was trading at $200. This was when Mt. Gox crashed. I was all in trying to understand what the space is, and then Ethereum comes out. And then in 2017, I started following Munib once he came out of the Princeton University research team. It was all over in the news. SEC token, SEC had approved the SEC token, the STX token, and the whole momentum has started. So that's when I started following Munib. I really liked his viewpoints. I did a lot of research, and I came to a conclusion and started believing that Stacks is actually a very long-term play. If anyone gets in early, you will be way ahead of all the other chains. So pretty much at that time I was looking into Ethereum, Polygon, Chronos, Avalanche, a lot of different options. But based on my research, I just narrowed down and got totally into Stacks. One thing, as we progressed, I think as I interact with a lot of the community members and look around, people in different spaces and different chains, I think everyone is underestimating what Nakamoto is going to bring to the table, especially the decentralized pegs. A lot of people still don't understand that the stackers who are stacking in POX is so critical to the entire ecosystem. If Bitcoin, even if 1% of Bitcoin were to flow into Stacks once this decentralized peg is enabled, it means you need more number of stackers in the system. And the incentives for all these stackers will go up. The ecosystem becomes more valuable. There are a lot of applications that can be built. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And based on how I have been progressing in this field, I feel that a lot of innovation is yet to come, and a lot of decentralization is yet to happen. Whatever we see right now is like only the start. A lot of apps over here are still working through how to decentralize end to end, so that we can truly work in a trust minimized way. And in terms of building in the space, I'm currently working on a very specific project on Stacks Chain. I'm trying to innovate in the field of digital assets. I'm trying to redefine how digital assets can earn yields by simply hodling. And my use cases are very specific to collectors and creators, in the sense that if you are a collector and you're listening to a music NFT, you should be able to earn Bitcoin yields. That's the kind of use case I'm working on. And this applies to even artists or other assets like BNS. If you hold a domain name .btc and you're unable to sell it, you should be able to monetize without selling. And these are the use cases I'm trying to enable. We are going to hit testnet pretty soon. And I'm very happy to work with this community. I've interacted with a lot of folks who are on the call right now, and it has been an amazing experience.
Hey, I'd love to chat about that too. See how we can integrate what you're building, Mr. Decentralized.
Yep, I'm hoping my DMs are open, and currently we're working with BTC Startup Lab with Albert and Patrick. We are in the next cohort. I have my other co-founders as well. We are going full steam ahead. And in short, what we're trying to really do here is decentralize the market value of digital assets. One basic problem that I see in the market right now, if you look at OpenSea, Magic Eden, any marketplace that is selling digital assets, there's always a subjective opinion. If you want to sell something for $1,000, someone wants to buy it for something less. So there's always a subjective opinion which leads to extrinsic value, and that leads to overall depreciation of the assets. Now, this applies to NFTs, ordinals. It will apply to runes once it comes out. It applies to BNS, all these assets. So what we are trying to bring to the table is take that extrinsic value and subjective opinion out of the picture. Now you have a digital asset which has a decentralized market value. There's an on-chain intrinsic value indicator, that is IV, that is assigned at the time of buying or at the time of onboarding your existing ordinals or runes or NFTs. And then from there onwards, your value is defined by Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, the value of your asset goes up. And we're working on two different concepts. One is, if you hold the asset, you basically earn yields. And the second is, your asset has a by default on chain credit line, which means you can put the asset as collateral at 0% interest rate, and you can borrow uh, 80% of what the asset is worth. And this means you're able to even hedge your positions if there's a bear market, because I see a lot of people struggle with like options and trading. The more you trade, it's like the more money you lose, and that's a secret that everyone knows, but people still keep trading, and everyone can chime in. The more you trade, the more you lose money. So we're building the concept over here that just hodl, stop trading, but just hodl and keep earning money and keep doing DCA. That is the secret to build your wealth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I want to figure out, we can chat at some other time, but for my project, I want to figure out the Bitcoin yield for the digital assets in our project.
Yep, sure, let's connect.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. I'm excited, to hear more. Yeah, obviously, everybody at the Bitcoin Startup Lab. Shout out to Albert and everybody over there. Really great organization. Uh, it's it's funny you talk about to your recommendation to not trade and to hold. It reminds me of this anecdote. It's like kind of dark, and I don't even know if it's like true or not, but it's just something that gets passed around a lot. Where Fidelity, I guess, did some report where they looked at who were sort of the top traders, and it turned out that the people that had kind of made the most were unfortunately people that had deceased because they were just holding the whole time. I don't know how true that is, but it's it's interesting. I love that you put an emphasis on sort of the bridge aspect of the Nakamoto upgrade. We talk a lot about the 10-second block times, which is obviously going to be very welcome, especially with all these fees about to spike as much as they are from all the runes hype that's about to happen in less than 5 hours now, which is our countdown. So yeah, I'm really excited, for that as well. Just the ability to go peg in and out of SBTC, and I don't like using the word trustless because nothing I think is trustless, but in just a very decentralized way, which aligns a lot with what we've all been talking about. It was Longstreet that said that we've been using that word decentralized quite a lot on this space so far. So I'm gonna bring Simon up, who's requesting to speak, and just an invitation for anybody that would like to come up, talk about what they're building. See some really amazing builders in the space. I saw Boozy just joined recently. We got Trippin' Monkey, bunch of really awesome people in the space here. So would love to hear from you, anything that you're building. Would love to hear really just your story about how you got into stacks, how you got into Bitcoin. And this is sort of just a community celebration of everything that we've accomplished so far. So definitely feel free to come up and speak. Yeah, Simon, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. What's going on, everybody? So real quick on to like how I got into Bitcoin real quick. So I finally got my node set up last night. It's finally synced with the blockchain and Taproot address, so we got that out. But a lot of people came into the space either through memes or NFTs or something like that. But mine was through mining, actually. I wanted to figure out more about ASICs and helping out securing the blockchain. And I saved up funds to get my first ASIC, and it's still running in the basement right now. Mining away for me. So that end up building out this huge rabbit hole, right? Where I end up realizing I'm like, wow, I didn't know anything about money and transactions and wealth and finance and this and that, and this space and this community has taught me so much. So just for that alone, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's in this space that shares their knowledge. That just Satoshi for just creating this, because in a world where I failed many times from 9 to 5 and down and out, not thinking like I had another chance, right? Here comes Bitcoin and blockchain, and it just gave me a 360 and it put a fire in me. So just super grateful for all of that. So that's one thing. And then like number two, this space right now with Stacks. So I've been building out and working on like various NFT projects. A while ago, for Gitcoin, where I was working on a project called Project Hat, which is hard asset tokens. And essentially it was like, how could we bring like anything you own at home, right, and put it on the blockchain? And just like I forget the individual that was just speaking, but he brought up something about, how can we have these NFTs hold value, right? And so one of the things that I was thinking about is like, how can we incorporate time? And also, for example, like say we had a pair of Jordans that people say, it's worth, for example, $500 or something, right? And we can separate it where there will be 10 holders of this one item, and they all put in the equivalency of $500, and it will split the seed phrase amongst all the holders, right? Like a kind of like a multi-sig thing. Now, then is there how do we make it where, like he was just saying, that people aren't wanting to trade it, and at the same time it doesn't lose its value? So I guess the holders initially would have to put up to establish like a base value, and then the entire ecosystem could vote on it and be like, whoa, that's outlandish, like that's not the value, or yes, I agree, that is the value, and then that kind of ends up being the floor price of something. So these are a couple things that I've been thinking about with how something like that would work out. And just love to hear other people, if anyone else has been thinking about something like that, and if they come up with any solutions or something. So those are a couple things I was thinking, want to share with y'all.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. I think there's so many opportunities, I think, when it comes to these new financial primitives, that are getting built. And what we're seeing right now, is a lot of stuff that's kind of already maybe been built on like other, chains like Ethereum and Solana are kind of coming over to Bitcoin. And that's sort of like stage one, phase one, with some of these things coming out. But, then we'll start to see, there's already some really cool things with like ordinals lending, Liquidium, and like other tools that are doing some really cool stuff there. So, yeah, all these financial primitives that are coming to Bitcoin are really exciting, and yeah, looking forward to hearing more about that. I do want to bring up David Pear, who just hopefully I'm saying Pear right, who requested to speak, and then love to hear from other folks as well that are in the audience. Again, if you'd like to come up and speak, share your experiences with Stacks and Bitcoin, definitely feel free. David, welcome. David's taking some photos over there, I guess. David, can you hear us okay?
Hey, Brandon, I was just going to say for the person that was just talking, I think Simon, one thing I'd recommend is Brad and Dan that are in the audience. They do a space, I want to say it's called Purple Pill. And they, for a lot of the brainstorming around those different concepts and stuff, that is a great space where people connect and kind of go through the possibilities and, you know, things that are already out there in the ecosystem too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna send them. I'll reach out to them. I appreciate that, bud.
Mr. Wagme always has some great resources. So yeah, shout out to Brad in the audience, who's been on a few of our spaces in the past. Definitely a wealth of knowledge there. And yeah, thanks for contributing. Let's see, David. I don't know if you got your audio issues figured out. Are you there?
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
And GM, everyone. GM, shout out to everyone. I see lots of great folks here. Zero, Longstreet, Mr. Wagme, Good Kitty, Leather, and OG of you basically carry us through the Stacks ecosystem, you know. So I'm David Perry, and I'm the founder of Stacks Unity Hub. Where just a brief intro, where we are building a community of builders that would come into the space, break into the space, build on Bitcoin, sharing that building on Bitcoin narrative to an entirely new demography of people, targeting young adults across our local demography, more like a grassroots kind of movement. And it has been amazing what I've been able to experience in the Stacks ecosystem. So there's just been a lot of love, and with the Nakamoto upgrade and the halving here, I'm just so excited to all the possibilities of building. We started developing our own DAO, and I think I was talking a lot about that with Zero, and trying to see how we navigate the ecosystem to bring more value to builders, in this local demography. And we're looking forward to a lot of things that's going to be shipping out post Nakamoto. We see the meme coin community is pumping up. I think I see some there. I see nothing. The OGs of Stacks are just packed in here, and it's so wonderful to be here. I look forward to the building aspect of things, because
Hey, David, I don't know if it's just me
it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You see a lot of builders out there, OGs that are putting their skin in the game. We see Jack being switch, and I think he's dropped off the space. A lot of massive work from that OG, from his side, from the rules and from Node Rocks and lots of things. And I think we need more people like this that are more concentrated about building. And that's why. The most indispensable aspects of the Stacks ecosystem, because people looking in to just get started with the with building on Bitcoin can actually go there, can I submitted my first proposal, looking for funding or whatever, for an onboarding bootcamp that was supposed to reach over 1,000 students in a local university. But obviously, it seems I couldn't get the grant funding. But eventually, the amount of knowledge and things I learned from that space, from Gordon, from Triple Monkey, I see Triple Monkey, shout out to Triple Monkey, from Hero, from Gordon, from Sam. It all came together to actually build what we now back home here. It's more than finding funding, going beyond the limitations of whatever you might call liquidity, whatever you might call funding in whatever quotes bracket or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot to it, and I basically am rooting for the Stacks ecosystem. Trust Machine is actually putting a lot of, pumping a lot of effort into the Stacks ecosystem. That is one. And Longstreet, I see a lot of your artwork. I see you on Gamma. It's wonderful to have artists like you, Good Kitty, and I'm planning on bringing a new generation of artists to the Stacks ecosystem. So basically, sometime we'll be collaborating. I see Good Kitty in the work with Dream and some other artists in the ecosystem. And Tree Hunter, shout out to Tree Hunter. I don't know if he's here. He's been giving us a lot of vibes lately. I think everybody that's been in the ecosystem can attest to that. It's been a vibe, and I think they're releasing an EP on Gamma soon. So I'm rooting for that guy. You know, a lot of massive energy is bringing into the space. It's really really lovely. It's really really lovely. You know, getting to see people to be actually persistent about it. You know, I've been trying to tag along the daily spaces from D Grants, but I hope I'm going to do better. You know, coming, contributing, showing up from time to time, and you know, getting a lot of feedback, a lot of impact, lots of OGs. You know, because I think the community model that I've found in the Stacks ecosystem is something I've not found anywhere, and that's why I stuck to Stacks. That is why I started, you know, getting skin deep in the game, because I saw the support, and it has been massive all the way. I wouldn't say, I can't even describe it with words. You know, coming up on Twitter every day and seeing what people are building, it just inspires you to keep on kicking and keep on going. So yeah, you know, that's it for me. And you know, we're rooting for a massive influx after Nakamoto, and you know, the Stacks and you know, the Bitcoin halving. You know, we plan on hosting the Bitcoin halving watch party, something like this. But we're still looking how we put that up together. So, you know, we'll share with the community. We'll share with the community when it comes to that. Hopefully we'll put something together, a small bit of get people to come and kind of orange pill them and purple pill them to everything, you know, that's going on in the ecosystem. Onboarding people has been a thrill recently, and I can't just wait. You know, we've seen the Stacks ecosystem flourish a lot. It's flourishing, bubbling with lots and lots and lots of activities. Recently, we're seeing projects pop up like XTX Map doing the massive work. And I think recently we started seeing one Goatcoin XTX, and you know what Mac Stacks Doc is doing, you know, Pombo and the rest of them, you know, they're really bringing a lot of vibe to the ecosystem. So, you know, I'm just rooting for you all. I'm rooting for you all. Nice. I'm bullish on everyone here. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Massive love from me and massive love from Stacks Unity Hub.
I love that, David. Thank you so much. I love the energy that you have, and yeah, all the shout outs, you know, that you made to some really great people here on the space. I you know, we're all contributing to the space, but I think the people that I appreciate most are the people that are really just out there, you know, teaching people how to build in the ecosystem. You know, orange pilling folks in the space, like that's a difficult job. You know, it's difficult to do, but it's so impactful. So we really you know, love that. Thank you for sharing so much. And Simon, I saw you raised your hand. You have something to add there?
Yeah, real quick, you know, while we're on that topic of like, you know, helping out Stacks and community growth and stuff, you know, besides building, you know, and funding, helping those developers, what would you guys recommend like community members could be doing? Like, where do you guys see that you need help the most? And like, so for example, I have time, I want to offer assistance. Like, what would be the thing that you feel at this time, like that you were like, you know what? I definitely want to make sure we focus on this and this and that for, you know, future progression and getting more people. Like, what would that be, and what does that look like if someone could share?
Me personally, I think that's right up Hero's alley. He's he probably knows the best for that.
Yeah, I would.
And also Brandon.
Yeah, I would like to pass a comment here, and this is from my own personal experience. I think if there's a founder out there who's trying to build and work with ordinals or runes at this point, then they are facing a lot of challenges, because when they deploy stuff, develop contracts, put it into testnet, uh, they do not have exact. There is no documentation, first of all, or there is no ready-made, like something like a test token for ordinals that you could test your features out. So I personally had a lot of challenges in working through this thing, and there was no information. So even if you would join certain Stacks channels and ask for stuff, it would be like, yeah, we don't support this. So you just have to figure out something on the test net, and until you hit the main net, you will be able to try the real stuff out. So I think these were some challenges that we really faced.
Simon, hey, nice to meet you. I just wanted to say to you that if you are keen, we've got a whole bunch of Twitter spaces lined up because of the D Grants program. And it would be a great place for you to come and meet the community, meet newcomers in the community, and also probably there just find, because that's what we learned last time. We kind of started, we figured out what we needed, what we didn't even know we needed. So join us. Hero is going to start posting when this spaces. We've got spaces every day. And anybody also here who's new to Stacks, look out for those spaces. We're going to be having loads of them over the next couple of weeks as we build up to this new D Grants program. So please join in, come and meet the community. We are always looking for new hands and new people. So we'd love to hear your ideas and yeah, come find out how you can help.
Yeah, I love that invitation. It's really something that we, at Leather and Trust Machines are looking to get more involved in as well. Just in terms of kind of being in the community. That's really in large part why we brought Longstreet on to help us with that. So definitely look forward to us being in more spaces soon and representing and seeing how we can support there. So yeah, excited to share more once we're ready. But probably in the next week or two. Mr. Wagme, got your hand raised.
I was gonna add something. You're watching, a lot of the things that have been built, created, or even just kind of people have been brainstorming on. One area that I think there's a lot of opportunity if there's people that are looking to do stuff. I I don't even watch TV anymore. If I'm watching something on video, I'm watching YouTube or something like that, or just whatever's on the web. And I haven't always, maybe I haven't looked hard enough, but I haven't always seen like a whole bunch of videos on YouTube about like different applications that are in stacks. Things that are independently like reviewed or just showing people how to do stuff. So I think there's, opportunity there if like people have skill sets in that area of just kind of hey, I'm checking out this app today that's in stacks, and they're going through and showing stuff like that just to help spread the word and let people know like things that are out there. And then also in your experience too, if you find some things where you have a pretty cool idea specifically in the app, connecting with the people that built it and giving them feedback too.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea, and I guess that's a little bit of alpha for anybody that's in the audience that wants to contribute. That would be a really welcome contribution to the space to get to check out some of these maybe not as popular apps that might be out there that might unlock some really cool utility. That'd be really awesome.
Simon, I want to give you two examples that immediately come to my mind on, because when I think about people getting involved in Stacks as such, just this open collaborative group, if you want to get some experience, I don't know what you specialize in. You don't have to be a developer or when we say builders, we mean people who are good at starting communities, people who are good at cultivating those communities and helping each other grow. So I see Jake, brother Jake Blockchain is in the crowd today. Jake was working at, I was just talking to him the other day and I was like, dude, I'm so fucking proud of what you're doing, because we were just kind of talking about startups and the whole startup scene and Stacks and BFF. But he was working at a grocery store, right? And years ago, where he started planting his flag is we needed someone who was going to start interviewing people in the Bitcoin space and building in Bitcoin. So our podcast for Zero Authority, we primarily focus on stacks and Bitcoin layer 2 builders. And then Jake said, you know what? I'm going to start shedding some light in the Bitcoin space. And keep in mind, this was 2021 when everyone was saying Stacks is a scam. So he was out there interviewing the people, doing the hard work. Even when they called him scammers to his face, he was like, I don't give a shit. I'm still going to interview you and be respectful of your time. And that podcast, Building on Bitcoin podcast, turned into an opportunity where he got to join the Bitcoin frontier and help out. And so he's I don't know if you would peg yourself as a venture capitalist, but there was the opportunity to help others. BFF needed someone who was good in the community, and he joined Longstreet. Longstreet, I still remember. I was captivated because Longstreet was in his classroom at the time, and he was making videos of like him playing all these instruments. And then the opportunity came up, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy doing all this music? This is amazing!" It was like almost like a one-man band. I was like, "This guy's amazing!" And so he was literally a school teacher teaching music, making all this incredible music. And then the opportunity came up because two guys wanted to start their own NFT project that were a part of Megapont. That they started this project, and then Megapont was, just giving them some promotion, saying these are two really good dudes. They have their own launch coming up, and Project Indigo, like recently they launched their own ordinal collection recently, and it's amazing art again. And Longstreet was making music for them, and now he's working with Leather. So that was an opportunity. I see Boozy down there too. Boozy, him and Teflon, to me, you guys are like the meme masters that I always go to. Boozy, you're too busy nowadays for the rest of us plebs, but Boozy was creating like just dank memes. I mean, him and Teflon just create amazing memes. And now you see this beautiful fucking art that he's created with the pizza ordinals with Trevor, and you've been working with Ord within the ordinal space and Ord.io and with all of those people now. And so Simon, I say all this to say, you never know where the opportunity is going to come from. Jack, I don't know if Jack is still in the audience, but Jack just started by writing blogs on Seigel, and he didn't do it for any money. He didn't do it because he wanted people to share his work. He did it because he just loved writing, and so he would write. I mean, he wrote articles for people that were coming to our gig marketplace on 030 XYZ before we even had any smart contracts or Web3. And I would say, dude, me and Huddle, we really appreciate this, but we're still early and we're still building. He would write articles about Leather, Xverse, Trust Machines. He would write about Gamma and Alex, and he was helping people get onboarded early. And I know he even wrote about what you're doing, Mr. Wagme, and building on Bitcoin podcasts. He would write about all of us, and those little things that he did to help us. He ended up launching his own communities, and in return, we all of us are just so grateful for that early work that he put in. So it can manifest in so many ways that you just don't see. And so, like, when we say there's opportunities, those opportunities that you're going to find is like you might start doing tweet threads, and then it's going to be super helpful to onboard someone, and someone sees that, and that leads to an opportunity. You might make music, and then make music and Good Kitty, you guys collaborate or something, and then that goes on to be like an award-winning project for an NFT, and you just never know what's going to catch fire. It's just been insane, and like all those are real stories that I've seen happen. I mean, Hero was doing decentralized governance and eventually became the governance person in Stacks, and so it's just amazing. It's amazing to see what these opportunities lead to.
Yeah, huge shout out to Boozy. Huge shout out to the Pizza Ninjas. Boozy's a Sotheby's artist now, so he's elevated to just a completely different level.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's funny, like for real, because I was writing all of that down, everybody's notes and input, because I totally was not thinking about Builder the same way you guys were describing it, more as a community sense versus like tech savvy developer back end sense of it. So that just like opened up my mind and just gave me so much more ideas, like with things I've helped out with project management in the past before, doing project DAP reviews, making video content, things like that around there. So I would love to kind of be like the user test dummy for any new potential DApps coming out on Stacks, and just like providing an easy to easy to understand video for new people coming into this space, and helping them on board with that. So if anyone specifically needs help around that or with their project, you can reach out. I for sure would start going through everything. I'm already in the Discord, and then just kind of start putting out content and helping where I can, though. But I really appreciate everyone sharing all this knowledge. I literally just wrote down like a page and a half of everyone's response. So super, super appreciative of everything. Thank you, guys.
Love that. I think there's going to be so much opportunity as soon as Nakamoto launches. There's going to be there's a lot of people that have been building in stealth on things that are going to be coming out. Obviously, having the faster block times is going to help so much when it comes to things like DeFi, to get that really fast settlement, to be able to peg in and out in a much more decentralized way. So there's so many really awesome things that are going to be enabled by this Nakamoto launch, and really looking forward to it. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking to try things and experiment, there's going to be just so many things, I think, that are going to be available to play around with. And yeah, I'm just so excited. Hero Gamer's coming back up. Give him a second to join here.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello.
Hey, Simon. Yeah, just want to quick add on to what you just said and what everybody said. Um, David, he's spinning up behind the stacks Twitter space on Mondays, and he's gonna interview builders every week on Monday. And I was even thinking like maybe you could be, because he's doing on Twitter, like he's got all these builders lined up. Maybe you can be like piggyback of him and say, all these builders also can be highlighted with the YouTube content or whatever. So you could produce the video version of that, highlighting those builders, and that can be posted simultaneously. Just an idea for you, knowing what's going on in the ecosystem. And in addition, I think I remember when you first came for the grants first round, and then you didn't have time, but I did write down what your interests were. I think like you have variety of interests. I think if you also have interest in governance or DeFi or builder space, you like Kitty said, you can jump onto my the daily Twitter spaces where you can be a steward supporting other people as well. If you can share your experience, share your feedback, or yeah, or just like as a community member sharing feedback to those ideas who come up, just like the space today. Like we are helping you generate sort of ideas, collaborating with each other, and this is how it feels like in those degrant spaces where we foster these ideas through conversations. So I just want to give you some pointers, and I'll jump down.
No, yeah, thank you, Hero. Yeah, we've touched base before on it. I wrote that down. I definitely have the comfortability on making any YouTube videos and like public speaking when it comes to that. Making difficult things in story format a little bit easier to digest. I have experience helping out with governance from before. Like I used to help out with Gitcoin, the Graph, and Litecoin, and a few other projects in the past, so I am familiar with that. So yeah, let's connect. I definitely would like to be considered with the with David. So I guess I'll reach out to you on that to see to make sure I get all the information, and I'm there at the right time, and everything like that. So but yeah, thank you Hero for bringing that up. So
Yeah, Hero is the one to follow if you're looking for resources on Stacks. Absolutely.
I do post a monthly mega thread, and I post it just because I don't like to go to different sites for information. So it's kind of started from like just collating resources for myself, but also thinking about how like a new person coming in would get confused, and I can just send him to my thread because you got stacks.co website, you got Trust Machine website, you got like the Stacking Down website, and you got different people to follow kind of things, and some people not on Twitter. I don't know, just like so many different moving parts. So I just like put them together. So if you want, go and check out my thread that pinned up in my highlight.
Yeah, definitely a great thread to keep up to date on, and yeah, you post that every month, right? So always new things in there to check out, and new people to follow, and really
Yep.
great resource.
This month's new category is ladies in stacks. It's not for looking for ladies, it's just helping ladies to connect each other. I got mistaken. I was asking in Megapon, like, are there any girls here? And then, and then everybody else was like, are you okay, hero? Like, you looking for girls or what? What's going on? But
Hero needs a date for
Hero,
Nakamoto.
hero. That's the wrong website, brother.
yeah, we need we do need like if anybody wanna throw up a stacks dating sort of space as a grand idea, I'm all ears.
Hey, hero, you brought up a great point. Sometimes I look around stacks and I see a lot more women than I see in other ecosystems. And that's something that I love about this space, that we encourage whoever you are, wherever you are, to get involved. But yeah, don't be like Hero and going to Discord asking it, where are the ladies?
And actually, just on a serious note, I want to give a fucking huge shout out to Good Kitty and Grim and Natalie. Like they held the Twitter Spaces 3 days ago. I can't remember exactly which day. They killed it. Like they took the category of NFTs and music and art, that Degrand's category. Like they just ran with it and threw a bunch of ideas how they could maximize the impact of the 10 grand, or whatever arbitrary number we're gonna decide upon. But like because I was like encouraging people, you could have like micro grants, you could have retroactive grants, or you could have all this different kind of setup, and you could even run like a ready layer 2 within your thing and still have an open application alongside. And you can have all the different sort of, you can even have bounties. Like we can even discuss ideas today and we can think it's super impactful and put it out there saying, this is what we need. Somebody come and apply. So there's so many different ways of formatting the program. And by allowing each category leaders to, or, them to come together and talk about it and be creative with it. Like they really like took it, they took it took it and ran with it, and they came up with really cool ideas of like why compete? Like maybe everybody wins and have some sort of exhibition where every person submit an NFT, and then eventually they share the proceed of some kind. I thought that was super cool, and I don't know if Good Kitty want to talk about it a little bit. Or I don't know if how early it is, but I just thought like it's such a good example. Like the women came together, and they really led like the development of the formation of the D ground. I was just blown away.
Hey, Hero Gamer, just one comment. I was wondering if we have some kind of space for founders to collaborate and talk, in the sense that, like in my example, I'm looking for a marketing female co-founder who can help us take us to the next level. So if there's anyone out there, if there's a, I don't know, like a central database that you're maintaining as to who is trusted and available, and we can, start conversations, that would be really helpful.
We don't have a database. Everything is sort of through personal connections, if you like. So we kind of just know who are good, who are trusted. So the current best method is just to connect with us, and then you will start to know, and you ask a question in DM or in public, and people can recommend to you. In terms of like a space for founders, we don't have that apart from BTC Startup Labs. that's the best resource that you can go and collaborate with other founders. But you would collaborate with other founder, don't necessarily say looking for a community manager. Those kind of stuff tend to be more organic, and you just ask other people like in the community like us. But yeah, if you need anybody, just DM some of us, and I'm sure we'll get you connected.
Hey, on that subject, real quick, that being said, I mean, that sounds like an amazing use case, right, for stacks, right? Like, what happens if we have something established where we're like, hey, we know this individual has worked on such and such projects with such and such individual, and we can essentially, establish them an NFT to hold specifically on their wallet, right? In their wallet that they can use as a badge or an identifier badge to help people say, hey, when I see this badge, at least I
Yeah.
know you're right. They have some type of community
That's exactly what
authorization.
Zero Authority is doing. You
Oh,
touched
for
on a
real?
very, very good point.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
just we are so like, to be honest, like 3 years behind Ethereum in many ways. We don't have these early primitives yet, but it's being built. It's just being built by, because we're kind of still small, and also we don't have the comfort of having Solidity huge community developers. We have Clarity, so it's kind of like people are slowly dripping in. But what you're talking about is exactly what Zero Authority is doing. And actually, I know Mr. Decentralized also, along with Andre, is also wanting to build some kind of infrastructures to support that. So there's a lot of collaboration and people with the right mindset wanting to decentralize that identity and ownership and achievements and credibilities or cred. Um, so yeah, speak to Zero Authority. Get on Zero Authority because the first cohort of what you might miss is the winners from the D grants program. They are currently on Zero Authority. When they complete the grant, they're gonna get a badge. So you know who's done what. If they didn't complete the grant, they wouldn't have got the badge. So and the stewards who helped out, they'll also have some kind of badge as well. And Zero is working with Grim and got Kitty on it. So yeah, it's happening. And yeah, so follow Zero and go to his platform, and you will start. I think within the next half a year, you'll start to see this become more matured, and as a infrastructure is better, as even the connection with BNS is better. I think you're gonna see all these dots connected together better.
Yeah, Zero, if you're still here, maybe you could speak a little bit more on that. We've heard a lot in the past from Ragnar as well for Trajan, and obviously that kind of got rolled up. So I'd love to hear a little bit more from you. Yeah, if you could just share a little bit more about Zero Authority.
Hey guys, thanks so much for the shout out. Um, when we started building years ago, it's funny what Mr. Decentralization said, that it was like right now to build on runes or to build with Bitcoin script it's super hard, right? There isn't a lot of documentation. That's kind of where we were, I'll say 4 years ago, where a lot of people wanted to build something, and it just took time to do education. Kenny isn't here, but we used to work with Kenny early on, and he was one of the first people who got Zero Authority started. And so we wanted to build a DAO. So Huddle and I, we saw a lot of people working together. Whether Longstreet was creating music for Project Indigo and they were releasing NFTs, whether Mr. Wagme is helping to advise people and doing some consulting, whether Good Kitty is launching music and helping. Good Kitty helps consulting on a lot of different things. It's not just that. She also has the Bitcoin art collective, and that's an amazing group as well. And I see a lot of other people too. I see Atlas here. Atlas and his co-founder. They were. I don't know if Doc is still here, but they were just helping 300 do his like mix his Bitcoin EP mixtape release, kind of just like private sessions and then open public sessions. So we thought, you know what, there should be a place where people can collaborate on chain and earn the reputation from that collaboration. And so we were, Huddle and I, we were on this mission to get this off the ground, and it took us a while because there was no template for this kind of thing, right? You know, it's kind of almost easy to copy paste DeFi apps. It's easy to copy paste a DAO app if you want to do on chain voting, on chain proposals. It's pretty easy to spin up tokens now, but there was no blueprint for creating a gig marketplace where you have on-chain interactions between people. And so when we finally got that smart contract, our good buddies at Degen Labs, they helped us get this off the ground, and it was just like this monumental effort. Once we got that first contract done, we kind of had a blueprint. Okay, we know how to do this in Clarity now. We know how to do on-chain interactions. We built the back end, we built the front end, we built some of the middleware, and now it was an amazing pilot test to say, hey, Hero, I know you're doing the D grants, and we finally have our platform. We've tested it. We even used our own platform to work with Frieger to do our smart contract audits. And I mean, that was like one of the very first on-chain gigs and collaborations. And then recently, people have been saying, I would love to pay people in nothing. I'd love to pay them in Welsh. I'd love to pay them with ABTC. That's Alex Bitcoin. There's like these various methods, and now we're gonna have all these tokens on the platform. But I just been like pleasantly surprised, and I pinned Good Kitty. She made a tweet the other day about our profile page. I was telling Grim and Good Kitty, I was like, I never thought when we built this, and I was telling Huddle a week ago, I never thought that someone would add this profile page to their link tree, and that just brings me so much gratitude that someone thinks that I should put this in my link tree and that you find this valuable, because all we wanted to do, all Huddle and I talked about throughout that crypto winter was, can we build this smart contract? Can we get it off the ground? Will people even come to the platform? Do people even care about owning their reputation, owning their data? We almost see this as like the next evolution, the next innovation of being able to have ownership of your reputation. The decentralized identity space, that's a really hard problem. I wouldn't even classify it as that. I would just say, if you have on-chain interactions with people and you have a profile on Zero Authority XYZ or on Trajan.app, we want you to be able to showcase that. We want other people in this trustless world that we all exist, and we know that this is the future. We want you to be able to keep earning your reputation. I'll share one of the badges that we have coming out. So our tool, we're one company now. We Huddle and Stacks and I, we folded Trajan app into Zero Authority. It's one combined platform. So when you go to see people's profiles, you'll be able to see Trajan data if there are any endorsements. We were early too because we were pulling data from Seigel. So we went to Leo and we said, hey, we got this crazy idea. Do you have an API? Because not enough teams are trying to utilize APIs. We're all building these silos. And I said, what wouldn't it be cool if you could see all of your blogging content on your profile page in Zero Authority? Wouldn't it be cool on your new profile page if you have a Calendly link, or if you have a calendar app that you just want someone to book time with you? Just allow people to do that. And so like this new update, we wanted to make it easy to find people. We wanted people to start earning reputation, and over time, once we decentralize this, we want people to truly own a piece of this network. We don't want any want it to be like, okay, we have this token, but then all this equity that we accrue for ourselves. Huddle Stacks and I, we want people who participate early with us, people who come in. If you own that token in the future, that represents a piece of the network, and the protocol rewards that we're getting, we will give it back to the users. One of the recent just like this experiment we've been starting to even get to, and it's amazing that we're getting to this point. We were talking to Sam at Stacks Labs, and he was saying, "Well, we're using the EZA app," and so I said, "Oh, that's awesome. I would love if you use Trajan app to do badges for people earning if they're participating in EZA to learn how to build things on Stacks." So then I started talking to the guys at EZA, Dom and his brother. They're amazing. That app is amazing. It's onboarding the masses to Stacks, to Bitcoin, to other chains, and it's just starting to come together where people realize, I'm doing all these things on Twitter. I'm doing all these things on Discord. I'm doing all these things on console, and I have nothing to show for it. I need some type of way to show people I'm participating in this DAO. I'm participating in this group that I'm doing like real work, and it's valuable. So that's what we're trying to do. And then Trippin' Monkey, you could talk about he's been running this experiment. So we have this API, and the experiment was, let's have an API. So once we're fully merged and fully ready, we'll be able to go to Alex, Arcadico, we'll go to Bitflow, we'll go to Seigel, whoever has applications on Stacks and then eventually on Bitcoin, use our API. So whatever way you're participating and earning reputation, you'll be able to keep accruing that where you own it in your wallet, and you could display it wherever you connect your wallet. That's the vision I want for this. And so Hero kind of mentioned this Twitter space yesterday. We were talking, and in that Twitter space, I said the way we want to do like a DAO launchpad, we only want to do this if Orange DAO and Trust Machines have it fully operational, where you go, let's say you, whatever your DAO is, whether it's goodkitty.dao.btc, whatever your BTC name is, we want that to be a direct URL path. And we just want it to display, we just want to be the backend that displays all that information for you and makes it easy to manage. But we really want the BNS to start to show through. I know, Dan, you recently had a tweet about who's managing BNS. I know Mr. Wagme, him and I talk all through the nights and the weekends, and even when I'm rocking the baby, he's sending me messages on Discord. I'm like, dude, this is awesome, but you have 5 kids, dude. You probably are busy too, so I'm always super appreciative of all that feedback. And I was like, there has to be a way to take BNS to the next level. I don't know all the ways that we're going to take BNS to the next level, but I do know what HODLstacks and I want to do for this community is make it easy to earn your reputation, make it easy to do on-chain interactions, make it easy for you or anyone, if they go to that URL, which will be the BTC name, to see this is my on-chain interactions. It'll almost be like a dashboard if you think about it. And I'll go to longstreet.btc and I can see he's doing all of these things, he's participating, and these are the communities he's a part of. So that's what we're trying to build. We're still at step one, and we have a lot done so far, and you guys have been truly supportive, and I truly mean that. We cannot be where we are without you guys giving us the love, the support, and encouragement to keep going. So I'm thankful. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Zero. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the whole idea of sort of a decentralized reputation is really exciting. Especially for a lot of people in this ecosystem, kind of prefer to be anonymous, and to have that option versus something like LinkedIn, which is like, I was on LinkedIn the other day and it wanted me to like verify with Clear and like scan my eyeballs or something. I don't know. But to have the ability to have a feature like that where you can actually hold uh, essentially an NFT that contains sort of your kind of reputation on it in your wallet is really awesome. And I'd be remiss to also shout out one of our one of the things that Trust Machines announced kind of recently, which was Orange Domains. And I know we haven't shared too much since that initial announcement. Um, a little bit of alpha is that we'll have some more to share soon, but not quite yet. But that with that we'll be contributing a little bit more to BNS as well. So excited to see what comes from that. Longstreet, I know you've had your hand up for a bit. I want to throw it back to you.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to touch a little bit more on what Zero was talking about with like the building identity and earning trust in the community. And also what was mentioned about the inclusivity in the space here. I mean, Stacks really is full of fertile ground, and it really is a very inclusive space. And for anyone like we've been talking about, anyone who's looking to get started, there's this flywheel effect. And if you show up and you're consistent and you're contributing in any way, um, you will start to build up that reputation. And it can be little things. It can be adding comments. It could be subscribing to Jake's podcast and leaving a review, leaving him a good message, and really authentic feedback too. Like rather than just being a yes person, giving people authentic feedback is more valuable than just saying, "Hey, this is great. I like this." That actually is something that I really respect about Jake's. I think he's not here right now, but about Jake's podcast is like sometimes he's critical when the time calls for it. So giving people real feedback, that's value right there. Um, so yeah, as much as you can, like explore the different spaces, jump in, explore artists, get to know their art, get to know them as people. Try the DeFi apps, try all of them. It's just exploring things in a little bit. People are going to start recognizing your PFP. Even if you're anonymous, you can still build that reputation. And something that we've been talking about a lot, obviously, is like what Nakamoto will unlock. What's the next like epoch of Nakamoto, and it's not something to wait for. It's time to whatever you want to do. Time to start now. Start experimenting and exploring, making those connections because you really do. You never know what will pop up. Like we all have projects and endeavors that we start. We may have some idea of where we're going or what we want the final product to be, but when we get down at the end of the road, like it's totally different than where we ended up. But you just keep moving forward, get that flywheel moving, build that reputation, and keep bringing value.
Yeah, if I may just tag on to that, constructive criticisms or feedback, if you like, is super valuable. And that's exactly why we hold daily Twitter spaces for the D grounds, because we believe by having those actual conversations, we will refine the actual proposal into a much higher quality that actually will eventually bring true benefits, because we can have three proposals about educations and they're all doing their own thing and we offer no feedback and they just get grant and they just go and do their thing, versus maybe them coming on and actually we help them give real feedback and shape the proposal, and actually maybe it becomes from three to one proposal to two, or maybe they're individually three have better synergy and be able to just elevate the the overall quality of the grant being given and being allocated. So that's one point. So I totally agree with Longstreet. And just actually just circle back to BNS. That's on if you guys did this great conversation about BNS, and if you want to have more conversation about BNS, we should have certain allocation for BNS, like from D grants. So every Wednesday, me and Snazzy talk about BNS. It's like a town hall for BNS basically every Wednesday. So if you have any good ideas, any, I don't know, builder stuff or any community initiatives, whatever idea you have, the most impactful idea, bring it to the Wednesday Twitter space with me and Snazzy, who handles the BNS community handle. So yeah.
Hey, yeah, I'd love to jump in here. There was Simon, some other advice I might have for you, just from my experience here on Stacks, is any projects that you really like and you vibe with, hop in their Discord or wherever it is that they're doing their daily operations, whether that's Discord or console. Console is really great. If you're not on console, I'd recommend hopping on there. But what I have experienced myself is back when Arcadico launched, I hopped in their Discord and was helping out just unofficially. You know, people had questions, I was always there helping, and before you know it, they hit me up and they said, "Hey, you want to do some like community management? You're basically already doing it." And I said, "Sure, yeah, I could always use some more Arcadico tokens." And so I helped them out for a while when the last bull market, and that was really cool. And I know we have our good friend Algorithm. I think that's how he got started, and I believe he still is working for Xverse, and he's doing a great job there. And so, you know, just kind of hopping in places that you think, you know, some projects that you really like and the people you like to work with. I know there's a lot that are coming out here, you know, right now. You have Valar, you have Stacking DAO, Bitflow. The Bitflow guys are great. And Zest, what they're all about. So like, you know, if you want to help out, you could just kind of be helpful in their channels and what they're doing. And, you know, I imagine they would recognize what you're up to and the value you provide. And who knows, maybe that would be an opportunity for you to earn some of their tokens, or however they have their agreement set up. Um, Also, I wanted to give a little, like, a double tap on the identity. I think there's a huge amount of value to be added to any blockchain that we start storing more interactions and identity on. Um, there's a book out there called The Network State, and it talks about this. The more information we store on chain, the more of these connections we have, the stronger the value is in the network. So the network effects are much more useful. So that all of that data which we have on chain, whether it's pseudonymous or whether you have an identity, a real life identity attached to it, that is going to be a huge factor in helping people build and add value. And when new people come in too, they'll be able to look at and say, okay, this person's the real deal. They've been through the grants program. They've been through the Stacks Accelerator. They've done all these different things on chain, you know, big, small, what have you. You know, you really can't fake that sort of thing. So that's super helpful when it comes to onboarding new people. And yeah, I think that's just a huge thing to think about going forward. Also, I'd like to do a quick shout out. I know it's a special Friday, but it's also Purple Pill Friday, and I know Dan. He's down in the audience. If Dan wants to come up, and I know Brad, they're the typical Purple Pill guys. It'd be great to have you guys come up and talk a little bit. I know you're doing a lot with Boom Wallet these days, and just always great. If you guys, you know, any other Friday at 5, around 5 is Eastern. They kick these off, and it's great time. There's always something to be learned. Little personal anecdote. The guys behind Sat Screener, they actually were in there a couple months ago, and I gave them the feedback for the name Sat Screener. So you never know what could happen from it, and you never know what you learn from it. But it's a great time, and you're really great feedback, like we were talking about. Not always like, you know, over the moon feedback. It's the feedback that matters. Hey, you know, you guys could do this better or that better, or you know, tweak this. You're always going to learn something. So yeah, just a huge shout out to those guys.
For sure. And just another invitation for anybody that would like to come up and speak. We'd love to hear about your journey on Stacks and Bitcoin, maybe something that you're building, if you're building something, and what you're most looking forward to for Nakamoto. Looking at the countdown here, we're just over 3 hours away from the halving. It actually moved up a little bit. We had a couple blocks that were mined pretty close to each other in the past hour. So yeah, we're moving up a little bit, and just a little over 3 hours to go. So I don't know if we're gonna hold on, and do this space for another 3 hours. That's that's quite a lot of time, but yeah, really thankful for everybody that's come up and joined us so far. It's been really awesome to hear from all these different builders, and especially so many OGs in this ecosystem. So really awesome, to hear from everybody here. So yeah,
Brandon.
Yep.
Brandon, really quick, wanted to give you a shout out too for organizing all this and just jumping in and saying let's do this mega space today. I pinned a tweet from Trust Machines, and I think it's just a good reminder. There's ways to use Web3 apps today. It's not the greatest experience on a lot of apps, and even us, we got to build better experiences, but I encourage every one of us here to try to use Web3 apps first and foremost, instead of just reverting back to Web2 apps. And that tweet I pinned, it has Leather, Console, Ellen Swap, Orange domains, and then there's obviously, if you don't have a BNS, you can get one at you can get a BTC name at btc.us. And so we encourage it, and we think more people should have a .btc name at the end of their profiles.
Yeah, I do have Brandon Marshall.btc. Maybe that's the encouragement that I need to switch my name and and add that .btc on there. It's probably long overdue. I saw Dan came up. We've been giving Dan so many shout outs, I feel like, on this space already. So Dan, thanks for coming up, and yeah, welcome to the space and happy halving.
Morning. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. I posted recently, or reposted, a thing from one of Huddle's threads about my appreciation for Munib, because he's really kind of the top of this community, the leader of this community. I know that we're decentralized, but the culture that he created is really great, and I really appreciate all the shout outs from everybody on the channel, and the shout out about PPF. Like Huddle said, we do a Friday afternoon stacks chat. I think we're calling it Bitcoin Friday now going forward. Excuse me. And it's primarily a place to come, hang out, ask questions. We try and invite everybody up. We don't usually have like specific speakers, although we do some kind of spaces with like the grants teams and things like that. But like Huddle said, like one of my favorite parts about PPF and just kind of its informal hangout nature is the connections that people make there. We've had people go off and work on different projects together and find out that somebody else is working on projects, and they start working together. So we're really informal. We just kind of hang out, talk about whatever's going on that week or that month. And so, yeah, feel free to jump in anytime if y'all want. But yeah, thanks for all the shout outs. Happy to be here. Happy to, I don't know whose idea it was to kind of merge all these spaces into one kind of big Nakamoto marathon party, but I love that idea. So we were happy to join here and happy to be here.
Yeah, shout out to Hero Gamer. Of course, it's Hero Gamer for helping to coordinate some of this. So yeah, Hero Gamer came to us with the idea to do it, and yeah, we figured we would bundle it in with our Good for Bitcoin show here that we also do every Friday. So yeah, shout out to Hero Gamer, and yeah, thanks Dan. And we don't have to spend too much a ton of more time. I feel like we've all kind of talked about our projects and stuff a bit, but I'd love to hear from everybody on, with Nakamoto coming up so soon, halving is here, in just a few hours. What are you kind of most excited for kind of post halving? And, other than Nakamoto, of course, obviously runes are a big thing that's launching. And there's going to be a ton of transaction fees that are going to be created from that. Definitely expecting transaction fees to go up quite a bit. I tweeted from the Trust Machines account the other day. Just as soon as L1 fees are 10xing, we're now seeing 10-second transaction times on Stacks soon after that. So it's going to be really welcome to be able to transact and interact on Stacks while Bitcoin is going to be so congested, probably for quite a while. So Longstreet, I know it's quite late for you over there. Thanks for sticking around, and for anybody else that's across the pond, thank you for tuning in and sticking around for this long.
Yeah, of course. It's a pretty special day. I just switched mics, so let me know if it's not working. But just to what you were saying about, the what we're going to be expecting with the crazy transactions and the congestion. One of the great things about Stacks, especially with the unlock that Nakamoto will bring, is that it enables, this ties into the inclusivity thing. A lot of artists, it's hard for them to go straight to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king. Like that's the best place to store your assets. If you can figure out a way to get your art on Bitcoin, that's the best. But there is a high barrier to entry for a lot of people. And especially for developing artists who are still exploring and establishing their voice and getting like exploring how they want to engage with community. There have been a lot of people who, you try to like build up for a release because it takes a lot of commitment and financial investment. You do a big release on Bitcoin, and if it doesn't land, if it doesn't go well, like you may be out $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 for this endeavor. So what Stacks enables is for people to, dip their toes in the water, grow, develop their art, develop their community engagement skills, and then ultimately, when the time is right, they can figure out how they want to then engage with the L1.
I love that. That's such a good tip. And there's been, some talk about people sort of along with the bridging that's going to come, between being able to bridge your Bitcoin to the L2, being able to also bridge things like ordinals or runes or inscriptions, from the L1 to the L2. So, having the ability to sort of experiment on the L2, and then when you have things sort of set and established, to be able to bridge them to the L1, that's going to be a really awesome unlock that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Wait, so if I get that correctly, I'm not sure if you guys talked to this or not. So I created a BRC20 before. Will I be able to bridge that over to, I guess, Stacks? Is there anything that we can do, like for anyone that has a BRC20 token already, going over, or we'll just have to just create a new process? Or is there anything to bridge that or combined it or anything like that with the current BRC20s at all?
Yeah, there are definitely aspirations to do it. I'm not sure if there are any in the like that are launched today.
Okay.
But there's Stacks inscriptions. I think it's just stacksinscriptions.com. There's also S ordinals. So it's just ordinals with an S in front of it. So Stacks ordinals, ordinals. So both of those projects kind of started at the beginning of this year to essentially, bring inscriptions to Stacks. And they're both doing it in a couple different ways. I see Hero Gamers requesting to come up, so maybe he has also some suggestions. But those are the two projects that I would follow, and maybe get into their discords and see kind of where their progress is in terms of offering a bridge like that, because there's of course a lot of demand to have something like that, and I'm definitely excited for when that does come.
Great, thank you. Yeah, because
So I'm just
created
trying to
that and
find the
then
tweet,
make it go
Simon.
to not
So
use it.
yeah, it's possible already. So Trio, if you don't know, Trio is a token for Ordinal Spot, who is basically the leading, inscribing platform, and they launched a token called Trio, and that's actually a BRC20 but it also has its wrap version on Stack, and they actually launched their wrap. So I participated in it. I won one, and actually I think I have it in the format of Stack's version, and I can bridge it over to L1 if I want. But obviously, like fee is high, so I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm sort of keeping it on L2 right now, and I think, as far as I know, Welsh community also has a bridge, so their token can be BRC 20 Welsh or the native Welsh, which is on Stack. So there is actually, if you go to um, Alex Lab or X Link, X-Link is probably the best place because it's just the bridge designed by Alex Lab, basically. And yeah, you can see you can bridge to ERC 20 from Stacks. So as far as I know, maybe not all the tokens, but selected token for sure.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was wondering that because I'm like, do I need to create a new one and then have two separate, or because then that gets a little bit hairy with with the community and stuff like that, or just keep it separate on the layer one and have the layer two. But I like how they did that, where you did the wrapped on the layer two, and I guess maybe if anybody else still wants to use the layer one, they have I guess both options essentially for it. But I am interested to see what more comes from that, and how it gets built out and stuff. Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
so I put the link up the top, up in the tweet. Sorry, I'm like a bit zoned out today. Yeah, so just have a play around. I have bridged to layer one with Bitcoin. I bridged to Ethereum with that bridge. It works pretty well actually, so I highly recommend that. You earn some points when you bridge, make the transaction. It works really well, so I'll give it a try.
Hero Gamer, I appreciate you shouting out Alex and Xlink. I don't know how I didn't think of that. It's like they're they've been doing that for a
It's
long
it
time now.
it's not their. I think the best experience bridge is like because only like 1 year ago it was kind of hard to go between Bitcoin and Stacks, but now but I think that serves as such a good platform for bridging or just swapping between the two chains. But the BRC 20 isn't like too much publicized, I think, but they do have a very good sort of BRC launchpad actually. So all the token that want to participate in BRC instead of participating in L1, they participate through L2 stacks, and actually they so you could participate with Ethereum, wrap Bitcoin, I think WBTC, and if you're on Binance, you can participate with Binance wrap Bitcoin, and then I think they probably like aggregate all this together and then do a lottery. But you don't have. I think you didn't have to move from wrap being Binance chain to wrap um, stacks. Sorry, wrap Bitcoin on stacks. You just connect your Ethereum wallet and participate through that way. So I thought that when I tried it, that I thought that was pretty mind blowing because that means like s- essentially Alex Launchpad is sort of aggregating the Bitcoin from other layers and making it productive on just across the Bitcoin ecosystem. I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's bringing up bridges. Like what Alex offers. That's probably one of the things that I'm most looking forward to with the Nakamoto upgrade. Right, is to be able to take some of these token protocols and to be able to bridge them to L2 so I can trade them and do other things with them much faster and much cheaper than I can on the L1. Like that's the dream of L2s, right? Is the ability to do that. So yeah, really looking forward to more primitives that are going to enable things like that. And I know we've
So, if I
yep.
may ask you a question, Brandon, so what would make Stacks, different to other layers? Because they can also do something similar now. For example, on ICP or on Bob, and I think a new chain coming up. I think it's Bob, or another one. Their sort of marketing is so cheap. The fee is so cheap, like in a sense. Yeah. So how would you describe on overall how to make Stacks stand out as a good layer to do it instead of other layers?
That's a great question, and I think I actually might throw it over to Jake, who just came up recently, because I know he's spoken directly with a lot of these founders. But I think just going back to the bridge mechanisms of what Stacks offers, being so decentralized to be able to peg in and peg out, from the L1 to the L2, I think is just a really valuable, important thing. And yeah, Jake, I maybe can throw it over to you. Welcome up. I know we've given you several shout outs already. Shout out, Jake does a really great podcast, built on Bitcoin, where he interviews a lot of these founders that are building these layers and building these tools. So, would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, good to be up here to kick it with all you guys. Just came to vibe and pass the time as we wait for the blocks to go by. Um, but yeah, so the question is, how does Stacks sell itself, position itself as a stronger L2 in the Bitcoin space? I don't know. I mean, Nakamoto's going to do a good job for sure. Like 5-second blocks and quicker finality is going to be huge. Um, But my thinking has actually evolved in this over time because, like, I think ordinals have shown that block time is only kind of an issue. Like, people are perfectly fine to buy ordinals on Bitcoin. It's more of like, where's the liquidity at? Where's the attention at? And where is, um, like, I'll send a transaction. What's the confidence I have that's going to get mined in a certain like window? That's actually what Bitcoin's really good at, surprisingly, is if you track mempool.space and look at their fee estimation and you pay above the high fee, you will almost certainly get accepted in like 1 or 2 blocks, which is like at least you paid enough that you're gonna have to wait a max of 20, maybe 30 minutes. Stacks is that's one thing where it's been weak is at times when it gets congested, you could pay 30 stacks sometimes and still be waiting hours, and you're just wondering why is this going on. So I hope that with Nakamoto, fee estimation and whatever you have to do to know you're getting included in say the next 5 blocks will be fixed. Um, but yeah, I think the biggest value add to an L2 is going to be an expensive L1, honestly. So like runes might be part of that, where doing anything on the L1 is going to be so stupid expensive for like weeks or months on end that you just have to go to an L2 to survive. I think that's the biggest thing. Otherwise, it's just kind of like narrative based. If there's something cool on Stacks that you can't do anywhere else, people will come. Um, but I think cheaper fees and faster block times are actually they're nice to have, they're not must haves.
Yeah, those are great points, and I think it's network effects as well, and thinking about obviously leather, and Xverse as well, coming from Stacks. Though there's literally hundreds of thousands of people that are using leather and Xverse. For ordinals, they might not be using it for Stacks right now, but once they see some of these, the stress that's happening on the L1 with fees and things like that, they already have the ability, to quickly integrate into the Stacks ecosystem because they're already using these wallets. So it's a little bit of a Trojan horse, with that, and yeah, excited to see a little bit more growth happen. I think as a result of those pain points that you're talking about.
Yeah, I would actually piggyback on that too. That's a great point because if you look at the landscape of like L2s right now, there's only like 4 or 5 launched if you don't count meta protocols. And most of them have like 1 or 2 really strong applications, and that's kind of it, except for Stacks. Stacks has a shit ton, and so once you bridge in, you can do all kinds of stuff, and that's only getting stronger and stronger. And the same wallets you use on ordinals, Leather and Xverse, will get you all of your SIP 10 goodness as well. So yeah, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, I mean, no shade to any of like the EVM based, projects that are out there because they're doing some really awesome work. There's been so many great projects that have come up just in the past few months. But like, I don't want to download MetaMask to to interface with a Bitcoin layer. It's just that's a personal thing, I guess. But I feel like for people that are really into Bitcoin and want to like stick with just quote unquote pure Bitcoin, that's a hurdle that you don't have to cross as much with something like Stacks because it's built into Lether and Xverse and these other wallets already.
Hey, two things I want to say on that real quick. Number one, great point with the wallet. I was just talking about this on wallet management, right? Getting people comfortable with knowing like it's okay to have multiple wallets, right? For whatever use case you want it to be. Whether it's Lether for Bitcoin and Stacks, MetaMask for Ethereum, Phantom for Solana, right? Being comfortable with understanding that it's okay to have multiple wallets, right? And then number two, for another thing, like TPS and fees are super valuable, but at the same time, right, since this is so early, a lot of people that I've spoke to still haven't heard about Stacks, right? So being first to market and being loudest voice right now is going to be super crucial and important, right? Because people are going to want to come hang out with the community that's doing shit, right? So all of us talking here, having this conversation, like letting it be known, right? People are going to want to come hang out with us. And then because of that, then they're going to transact, learn about the applications on it, and then growth has happened. I've seen that happen successfully many times in other projects and other blockchains and things like that. So I think like you guys were talking about earlier, we were talking about like creating content about the applications already available on Stacks, just letting people know that Stacks actually exist, right? And things like that, right? I think it's going to be super, super important at this time. And then as we go down that route, right, people will realize, hey, when I want to interact with this one project that's on Stacks, that's cool. But if I want to do something on the L1 on Bitcoin, that's cool too. I can do both, right? It's not about like one or the other. It's about this and that. And that's one of the things that I've talked about with wallet management, that let's change the word or to and then we can all have a bigger and better blockchain. But yeah, thank you guys for letting me come up and talk and share my thoughts with everybody and stuff.
Yeah, right on. Thanks so much, Simon. Yeah, I think again, just there's so many OGs that are in this space that are listening or have already come up and spoken, and these are people that have been also building on Stacks, and we've been here for years, like literally years. And there's all this new crop of L2s that are coming up that are really just starting to build, and they don't, to your point, they don't have a lot of applications yet in market because the layer itself is so new. So Stacks is really getting, I think, a really great big head start to this new demand of L2s on Bitcoin that we're seeing, and yeah, it's just really really exciting time.
Hey, I know. Oh, go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I can wait.
No. I insist, brother.
Damn it, bro! You're too nice. No, I was just gonna piggyback on what Simon said about people not knowing about Stacks. I had a funny interaction with I got a new landlord like a month ago. The place got sold, and so I got a new landlord. And so he's like trying to get to know me. We're talking outside, and he was like, I'm telling him I work in Bitcoin. He's like, oh, interesting. I didn't know that thing was still around. I thought it had like a really bad like stock split or something. Like, didn't something really bad happen? And I was like, stock split. I'm trying to piece together. Like, what is he even remotely talking about? Like, is he talking about the halving? Is he talking about Bitcoin forks? Like, it was a whole thing, and he didn't even know. Like, he didn't even know. There's just like so much misinformation that he didn't even know what he was talking about. Um, and that's like Bitcoin. Like he doesn't even know like grandpappy Bitcoin. So yeah, he's gonna has no idea about any other L2. Um, so yeah, insert comment about how early it is.
And what I was going to say is, I'm obviously this day is super special. This is the days like this we wait for, and then we have all this excitement, all these events are going on. And even I'm looking forward to the Bitcoin conference coming up in July because Stacks Unleashed will be there. I know me and Hodl, we're planning to be there. I hope a bunch of you guys are there so we could see you IRL. I probably won't go to the Bitcoin conference. I've already heard Max Kaiser and a lot of those guys scream about Bitcoin. I get it. I'm trying to find out what's going on with L2s, but I just want to remind all of you guys, and I think this is worth saying, a lot of our stories, why we are where we are now, is just because we just never stopped believing in the ethos of Bitcoin. We never stopped believing that stacks could be a layer two. We never stopped believing that people should own their own digital history. We never stopped believing that people should own their own digital rights. And so if you continue to believe those things, remember, and I used to say, remember why you started. You started because Bitcoin was the promise that you can have sovereign money away from the central banks and away from the government and away from people trying to confiscate your wealth. And when all the glitz and the glamour and all the good times, when that comes to an end at the end of this year or next year, the most important thing is that you just remain steadfast, that you believe this is the future, and you stick around. Don't get sidetracked by the next shiny object. I know AI is a huge topic. It'll come back. I know different technologies are topics. Whether or not you do those as hobbies or you're hanging out with your family, always come back to these spaces, always try to deliver some value and try to get involved and build something. And when I say builders, I think we've all done a good job. The people talking, we describe builders in this space as anyone who brings a community together and achieves a goal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be a developer to add value. You need to be someone who has a belief and that can bring people together and share that belief. To me, that's what's valuable. I remember some of the first times that I got involved. I knew about Bitcoin early, but then I kind of forgot about it. And then when I came into Stacks, Patrick Stanley and Whoa Buddy, what they were doing with just trying to get people involved, that was the first time I ever got paid in Bitcoin. And I was like, wow, so I can actually get paid in this thing. This thing is real. And then I know later on I met Dan, and Dan was doing the meetups here in the Pacific Northwest, and then he obviously believed in stacks and Bitcoin and just never stopped. And so I just want to remind you guys, just never stop coming to these kind of spaces, even when all the hype and all the stuff dies down. Keep coming back, and it will come back. I just want to make that really clear.
Yeah, I love that, Zero. I think, just you definitely don't have to be an engineer or a developer. We said it a lot on the show so far, but yeah, that you can do so many things to build up this ecosystem and to build up this space without being highly technical. And there's so much opportunity. I think it was Hero Gamer that said it's a blue ocean opportunity, right? There's still so much out there that you can do to participate in this space and to contribute. And just looking at the time here, we're just over 2 hours now away from the halving. So one thing, I mean, for myself, I'm on the West Coast in the U.S., so it's going to happen at a nice, comfortable time for me. But it does look like, technically speaking, if you're looking at UTC time, the halving is going to happen on 420. So shout out to the memes. It's still happening, even though I won't be experiencing it personally. It's still happening, so that's exciting. I think we can get close to potentially wrapping it up. If anybody has anything else that they'd like to add, it's not too late to come up if you have something that you'd like to talk about. But really grateful to everybody that's come up so far on the space. I'm gonna pin our official space. If we want to continue the conversation, is on Club Bitcoin. I'm going to go ahead and pin that now. For anybody that wants to come up and join our console, it's Club Bitcoin, pinned at the top here. And please feel free to come in, and we'll be hanging out there after this Twitter space and celebrating the halving when it happens in a couple hours. So yeah, shout out to console. And they've also made a lot of really amazing progress and updates this year. And Dan, I see you got your hand raised. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to really quick talk about what I'm looking forward to or hoping to get with Nakamoto. One of the things I think that we have a really great opportunity to do is replace Lightning. Lightning is great for what it is, but it's custodial, and we were talking earlier about just a few minutes ago about the values of like Bitcoin and self custody and things like that. I think that what I'm really hoping is that Nakamoto ends up being a better, or SBTC ends up being a better Lightning than Lightning. And I think we have a real opportunity to do that. I mean, flea markets are going to probably have a lot to say here, but the fast transactions, the use of SBTC, the ability to peg in and peg out quickly, like you can literally, you'll be able to like peg in, run some DeFi transaction and peg back out within in less than an hour for sure. And I think that's going to be a huge factor, and I think that that helps obviously for the DeFi use cases, but also could potentially help for the payments use case. And this is what I've been working on for the past couple of months. Really want to try and bring like simple SBTC payment kind of transactions to Stacks, and so we're going to be building those kinds of things out in Boom, and we'll see how that pans out. But I really think we have a huge opportunity to replace like a very good but custodial technology that allows people to use Bitcoin for payments with a very good but non-custodial technology for Bitcoin. There's a lot of standards that need to be written. There's a lot of data that needs to be allocated in especially for profiles and things like that related to some of the things Zero talked about earlier, but also just kind of regular profile data and how it works. There's a lot of opportunities there, but what I honestly like, my nirvana would be if you look around the Lightning landscape, there's hundreds of applications and tools and things like that. Like, we should be building those kinds of things on Stacks now. With Nakamoto, we'll be able to get similar transaction times. Again, fees remain to be seen, but I think any Lightning application that exists out there is basically an opportunity on Stacks right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm really excited for that as well. I've been like personally, I have like an Umbrel node, so I have like my own like Lightning, node that I can connect to. But the average person, there's just no way that they that they could manage something like that. So for the average person,
The node's almost with the Umbrella, the node's almost the easiest part, right? Like, if you really want to go non-custodial, you've got to manage your own Lightning channels. You've got to potentially, like in these days, set up watchtowers. So now you're basically handing out trust again anyway. I like to say Lightning is basically a Rube Goldberg machine. And then in order to like bring trust and bring security to Lightning, basically we built out all these additional layers. Cashew, Fediments, watchtowers, all these other things are add-ons to make Lightning better when we have the solution basically in front of us. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Totally. Yeah. And, apps, of course, like Leather, are going to make it really easy to, for the average person, it's going to abstract away a lot of that, technical stuff and just make it really easy to kind of go between layer one and layer two. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. For anybody that's still a speaker here, if you have any closing words, closing thoughts, would love to hear from you. Zero, I'm sure you got something cooking.
Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey! What's up? What's up? What's up? So I do want to just on this outro, man. I do want to say I'm super grateful, super appreciative for this space today. I'm thankful for everyone who tuned in on a busy Friday. I know you guys are spending time with family. You're getting ready for runes. You're watching the blocks go across the line here. So the last thing I want to say is try to use Web3 technologies. Try to use decentralized applications. Uh, if you come to our site, zeroauthority.xyz, create account, trajan.app, create account. Please go. Dan has Boom Wallet. I think it's boom. Is it still boom.money, Dan?
Yep.
Boom.money. Mr. Wagme has his own console space. Please find it. Hero Gamer, he has his decentralized government communities and they're running. Please be a part of it. Good Kitty has the Bitcoin Art Collective, and then she's also participating in D grants, and she does a lot of other shit that I don't even know about. Go be a part of that community. Boozy is doing a ton of work with the Pizza Ordinals. Be a part of that community. Be a part of the communities that you see here today. I see Electra on. Hey, Electra. She's from Stacks Australia. Stacks Australia and Gordon, they're doing an amazing job. There's Stacks Labs. If you want to start learning, Stacks Australia has workshops where they're trying to teach people how to build these technologies. Be a part of the conversations. Get in the discords. Get in the console DAOs. uh, Obviously, Brandon posted that there's a console DAO. I didn't even know that. Jump into that console DAO. Him and Longstreet, they're doing amazing work now, and be a part of the conversations and stick around this space because things are moving fast, and you can be a part of something great. Thanks for hosting this space again, guys.
Thanks so much, Zero. And we're getting close to wrapping up, but I saw Rafa requested to come up. Rafa, another super OG Stacks person, so would love to hear from you on what you're building and what you're excited for with Nakamoto. Thanks for coming up.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, everybody in the community. Yes, I just felt like I needed to say hi to everyone. I'm bullish almost everyone in this space, and honestly, you guys didn't do a good job at you missed a very important point that Stacks brings to the table, which is, in my opinion, it's going to be like the updrop feature, essentially the getting rid of like the bridging altogether, right? So, and also the fact that Stacks is not going to fork versus Bitcoin, which all these little details, I think it's the simplicity and the connection. No other, to my knowledge, right? Uh, Jake was talking about, people are following liquidity, fees are not so important, and so on. This is the state right now. um, it's almost impossible to predict what's going to happen. Like you actually have to uh, uh, simulate in real life what all these little details, all this genius of engineering is going to essentially bring to Bitcoin. And maybe last point I wanted to share is like, for me, it like Stacks was about like when Munib talked and I listened to him for the first time. I discovered Stacks in a podcast. He talked about the internet being opened, and that's what really captures my attention here. That like all these details make it open, like this obviously the way the mechanism works, like anyone can mine, etc. Just right now Dan was talking about non-custodian solutions. um, but yeah, like the openness and simplicity of the solution. Like if you put yourself in the shoes of a user, and if you have to first, you have to bridge, and then you have to do a second transaction. I mean, it's still. I mean, we still have to see, right? And we still have to compare with other layer twos. So I'm looking forward to see like how the others are going to bring these solutions. But I just wanted to say, and it was a little bit of a joke, but don't forget the op drop and all of the rest. Shout out to everyone.
Appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for everybody that came up to speak today. It's been really, really awesome space. So thankful for this community, and just about 2 hours to go. So the having is almost here. So really exciting stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Again, we already mentioned it, but please go join us in the Club Bitcoin console. Love to have you there. And yeah, looking forward to all the amazing things that are going to come from this Nakamoto launch and from the halving, because I know that there's a lot of stuff cooking in the background that people are building, and they're just waiting for these things to launch. So I'm really excited to see all the innovation that's going to be happening in this space really soon. So yeah, if nobody else has anything else, thank you so much for joining again. We do this space every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we'd love to have you join us again next week. And yeah, thank you so much, and happy having everybody. Thank you for listening. We record Good for Bitcoin live every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on X. Please follow us at Trust Machines Co. if you would like to listen and engage with us live. Visit us at trustmachines.co for all the latest Bitcoin news. We'll see you next week.